Right, let's see how this goes. Okay, we are live on YouTube, and now let's go live on TikTok. Okay. Then head over here. See what it all looks like. Mm. Okay. All right. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay. Maybe I move it over just a hair. So do that. Let's move it over just a little bit. Aha. Okay. There we go. Good. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think that looks better. We'll see. Okay. Rate is lower than expected. Dang. All right, welcome in, friends. So I was not here yesterday, and because I was trying to revamp my tech setup, and I like blew everything away, and I had to rebuild everything. So I'm just happy to be here. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday. And we're gonna wait for some folks to come in, and someone said the second coming is already come and gone. That could very well be. You like the cover image on YouTube? Thanks. I am happy to be back. Thank you. So, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a happy Friday. Oh, thanks for the fan club stuff already. Right off the bat. Hello, pseudoscience. Hello, people in the super fan club. Welcome in. And if you're just joining us, we're going to wait for some folks to matriculate in, and we'll get to some 1v1 discussions here in a bit. Hello. Good evening from Austria. Very nice. So we're going to wait for some folks to matriculate. Then we'll have some discussions. Then we'll have a mod announcement. How it usually goes. and we'll continue with the discussions, and then we will keep going for the next 3 or so hours. So I'm going to be here for a while. So get comfortable, grab a snack and a drink. Yes, 2026 is here. So I'm going to focus on talking with those who believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, or at absolute minimum, a God, a mind that created the universe. But that's going to be very, very narrow guidelines. Not really interested in talking about like a singular consciousness or anything like that. So that's that. And so welcome into everybody. Yeah, 2025 still lingers, huh? I'm here with you. I had some stuff for work to get done, and it was just like completely, the deadline was today actually, and completely spaced the deadline, completely spaced it. Was thinking, oh, I got plenty of time because the deadline's in 2026, January 2nd. And lo and behold, it's January 2nd. So totally happy. And, but I'm excited. I hope everyone has a great 2026. I hope it's a better 2026 than it was a 2025 for everybody. Even if you thought you had a fantastic 2025, I hope it's even better for you in 2026. So I think that just covers it all the way across the board. And so, excuse me. So I'm going to be focusing more on super chats here. So if you'd like, as you see, there is the YouTube chat that's right above my head. So that's kind of what I've focused on changing up a little bit, but I'm still working on, I think maybe by tomorrow, maybe if not Monday, I will have a completely integrated screen where folks on YouTube and folks on TikTok will be able to see everything. May not be able to talk to each other. I don't think that's going to happen, but so TikTok, you'll see guests on YouTube. YouTube, you'll see guests on TikTok. You know, it'll be integrated a lot more than it is. So for right now, the closest I can get is both of you can hear me and you can see the TikTok, or I'm sorry, the YouTube chat. But what's coming is folks on YouTube will be able to see the chats on TikTok. Hopefully it's not like too cluttered. That's what I'm hoping. So hopefully, but we're going to go with it. But, so if you have something to say to me and you want me to see it, head on over to my YouTube channel and throw up a super chat, because that's the best way you'll guarantee that I'll read your comments. And, so if you're doing like comments in TikTok or on YouTube, not guaranteed that I'll see it. So just an FYI. And so had quite a bit of firestorm on my shorts on YouTube and my TikTok videos. You know, I'm just like, I've been pumping out the like 1 to 2 minute videos. Thank you. Been pumping out the 1 to 2 minute videos, and it's been interesting. I've definitely gotten the attention of some people. Thank you. I do my best. You know, I try to be thoughtful. I do my research as best I can. And not to say I get everything right. I probably don't get everything right. Yet, I try to be very thoughtful. I try to be very thoughtful about, you know, the comments I put forth, the arguments I put forth. And I'm trying to do a nice like mix between, I'm not just, you know, picking the low hanging fruit. I'm trying to pick the ones that are like challenging or something like that, you know? So I just want to go all the way across as far as engagement. So We will take guests here in a moment. We will take them very shortly. So, as an atheist, do you agree that morality is subjective? Actually, I do not. I think that morality is objective. That's my worldview. I'm an objective moral realist. So, you can see my worldview. I posted it in my Discord. The link to my Discord is in my profiles. So you can join there. Everybody's welcome to join. However, it is a secular space. So no preaching or proselytizing is allowed there. But you can have calm discussions with people of opposing viewpoints. That is fine. So I'm trying hard not to make it an echo chamber. But we have rules and we do expect people to follow the rules. But the point is, I have my entire worldview posted there. However, I was just trying to understand the concept of conceptualism. So I'm starting to read up on that because I knew I was definitely not a Platonist or a nominalist. So looks like I'm landing in the conceptualism, but I'm looking at other types of stuff related to that philosophically. So reading up on that. And there is dancing there if you want to be. Yeah. You know what? That'd be kind of cool, actually. We should probably start a live channel, a voice chat with dancing, like a club, right? That would be kind of awesome. Not going to lie. You know, people go in there, dance, and, if they want to throw their cameras on, put some music on, but, you got to decide what music to play because, 4 people can't be playing music at the same time. Then everybody dances to it. That's actually a great idea. I think I'm going to do that. And Rainbow Ash is here. And also, I just figured out a way to properly thank my YouTube mods. We've got Rainbow Ash, Blastermaster 80, and Marduk as my YouTube mods. And I finally found a way to properly thank them like I thank my mods on TikTok. Since I can now take super chats and gifts, I can collect them on behalf of. So if anybody wants to tip our mods, I'll accept tips on behalf of the mods, and then I will distribute them equally. So of course YouTube will take its cut, but then I'll distribute them equally to everybody. So it's almost like we're running a restaurant here, right? I can't be trusted without a mod. Jonesy, you've been in my live before, and you have been upstanding so far. So, but don't despair. Rainbow Ash is here to, quote, keep you in check. And Rainbow Ash is fantastic. So, and we got our first hug emoji of the day. This is good. So, what's your best evidence that God is just? I'm what's called a non-resistant non-believer, meaning that, I'm a pragmatic fallibilist and most likely a conceptualist, meaning that there's evidence of something and it's sound evidence and it's verifiable, testable, empirical. Excellent chance I will believe it, if not guaranteed. So if you want to demonstrate that your God is just and you are a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, come on up and let's talk. Also, remember, we have live goals here on TikTok. So 25 boxing gloves triggers an early kick pull. Jellyfish removes the guest immediately. And you guys see, I have a new timer. This timer is so much better because I can actually stop and start it much better. I can pause it, reset it, and it looks a little bit nicer. So hopefully this will, because usually I have to go in, start the time, and the one on TikTok was just so, ugh. So added a lot more functionality to this. Yay, new timer. Yeah, exactly. So added some functionality. So I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, but I was all day fucking with Video Ninja. And I had the one way going. I had TikTok to YouTube. But then I discovered, oh, I got to do YouTube to TikTok too, or was it YouTube to TikTok? Then maybe that's what it was. No, it was TikTok to YouTube. Then I had to figure out, okay, I have to go YouTube to TikTok. And so I had to figure all that out, and then discovered I don't have a part. So I ordered the part. So it should be here tomorrow. So I'm going to mess with that. So those who follow me, you will most likely see me like go up and down, go on and off. And that's okay if you don't have TikTok. That's why I'm trying to integrate everything, because then everybody can see more of what I'm doing. Right. And, yeah. And I know, folks, I know Rainbow Ash, I think the only time I've seen you use TikTok lately is to come and scream at me because I don't see you up on, in chat. So I think that's like the last few times I've seen you use TikTok. And, but yeah, because there's people that don't use TikTok all that much. Right. And then there's also folks on TikTok who don't use YouTube that much. Totally understandable. So if we integrate both, then I can kind of get the best of both worlds. I'm trying the best I can. And, that chat, the chat window is actually a pretty good size. Actually not bad. It looks about the same size as, he used to follow us and yell at us. Exactly. Yeah. Looks pretty good. It's about almost the same size as the chat on TikTok. But, okay. Well, I think that's enough yapping from me. So let's see if we have some guests ready to go. All right. So we got one guest waiting in the queue. So as I said, if you are in the guest waiting, also I will have YouTube guests ready. I'm getting so much closer. I'm getting closer by the day. But like I said, I'm hoping, but I'm very confident, if not a guarantee, but I'm pretty confident by Monday I will have YouTube guests. I'll be able to take YouTube guests. I'm hoping so that we'll get some decent conversations. I'm hoping so too. So like I said, if you are in the guest queue, please be sure you're 18 or you're thinking about coming to the guest queue. Please be sure you're 18. You believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And also you have evidence that God is just. All right. So you see the scales behind me on this side. So make sure, let's see if those scales are even or if they're tilted. We're going to find out. All right. Let's bring up our first guest, HD. How's it going, HD? How you doing, HD?
Good. How are you, man?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 19.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
The God of the Quran.
All right. So what's your best evidence that the God of the Quran is just?
What's your standard of evidence?
It can be a logical argument that's coherent and valid. It can be empirical evidence. So I actually have a pretty low bar.
Okay, sounds good. I think when it comes to evidence for faith, as far as Islam is concerned, I think Quran is the only holy book in which it's been fully preserved, and it invites people to find any contradiction in it, because there is no contradiction in it. So I think it's the only book that, these are not evidences, but I will say these are things that a holy book would need to have in order for us to even assume that it's from a God, because you would expect a book from a God to be preserved and for it not to have any contradiction. But as far as evidence goes, we could talk about the prediction that the Quran made, the scientific facts in it. We could talk about the prophecies of Prophet Muhammad. And
how do these demonstrate that Allah is just?
Well, I'm proving to you that my book is from God, but
yeah, you can prove your book is from God, and let's just say it is. How does that demonstrate that Allah is just? So, that's the question, not whether or not he's real. It's whether or not he's just.
Okay, I see. So just by whose definition?
Well, we could use Allah's definition. We can use our definition. What definition do you go by? How do you know that Allah is just?
I mean, this sounds like an internal critique, so I think we would have to accept
It could be.
our material when it comes to this.
It could be an internal critique. I'm not there yet because you haven't given me your evidence, so I don't even know. I can't decide whether or not it's internal critique. You just imagine that I don't know anything about your God. So if you're are you do you agree or disagree that Allah is just?
He is just.
Okay, and why do you think that?
Well, okay. I mean, I can. Yeah, sure. I'll give you like an argument for it. I think Allah is just, because Allah created everything and He owns everything, and He judges you with with the fact that He has a perfect knowledge of your intention, of your circumstances,
Okay.
and nobody's punished without receiving guidance, warning, and eternal punishment is only justified as a response when there's a consistent rejection of truth when it's presented to you, just like I'm presenting the truth to you right now.
Okay. So if you're saying, so if I heard you right, you're saying Allah is just because He owns and creates everything and He judges with perfection. Did I hear that right?
That, and also that He will provide evidence and He will not punish believers unless they've received multiple message of the truth, and the hell is only for those who reject the truth multiple times rather than accept it in their finite acts.
Okay. So He won't judge anyone or punish anyone unless anyone who hasn't received the truth multiple times.
Sure.
Okay. And so, okay. And then you base that on how you interpret the Quran or what the Quran says?
Sure. The Quran and the Sunnah.
Okay. So, all right. So if that's the case, then we can look at instances where justice is concerned. And then would you say that our understanding of justice lines up with Allah's? Yes or no?
Definitely.
It definitely does?
No, it definitely does not.
It does not. Okay. All right.
Yeah, our understanding of justice is very finite and it's very limited. But Allah's knowledge is perfected, meaning that He understands justice in its perfection. We do not, because we have human limitations.
Okay. And how do you know that Allah knows it perfectly? Aside from the Quran, like how did you verify that to be true?
I mean, like aside from the Quran, what do you mean? Like I believe in a God, like, and my evidence of that is the Quran. So what other material you're looking for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, how did you independently verify it? Are you just accepting the Quran as true? Like wholeheartedly?
Yeah, I mean, once you read the Quran, it's pretty clear that it's the truth. I mean, it's very consistent. There's no mistakes in it. It has scientific facts, and I can verify that my prophet was a true prophet. Therefore, I accept his message.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about whether or not your prophet is true or the scientific evidence. I'm talking about justice. So what I'm trying to understand from you, HD, how did you verify that what the Quran says about Allah being just is actually true? That's the part we're looking at. Because you would agree, just because it says Allah is real, just because it says Muhammad had true revelations, just because it says the scientific evidence is true, that doesn't mean God is just. So that's what I'm asking you. How do you know? How did you verify that your God is just?
Well, first he says it himself multiple times that he's the most just God. In fact, that's how he introduces himself in every chapter. And aside from that, when we look at his methods, the very fact that he says multiple times in the Quran that he doesn't punish anybody without giving them guidance and without, providing his truth to them. And if they are persistent in their rejection, then he will punish them. I think that's just. And also the fact that I believe in a God. I come to understand that God is one. And if I believe in a God, whatever he says about himself, I'm going to believe because I believe in a God. So
okay, so you just take as fact whatever God says. You don't like verify it to be true, or you just accept it as truth.
So how I already told you how I verify it, but then if that's not good enough, then how would you like me to verify something to be a true?
Well, how do we verify how do we verify that like things are just in our real world? Like, how do we, like, for example, like when we verify, like if a judge or a court is just, how do we do that?
Well, we have set of laws that we follow the same way the Quran is a Sharia law, for humans to follow. I mean, when we're talking about Allah is just this for the next world, but if we're talking about today, in today's world, Allah already gave a set of laws even before the modern law was set up.
Okay.
And actually, many of the Western laws and its values were taken from the Sharia law as well. But that's a different conversation. But the reason why I would say Allah is just, I mean, I could just simply say because He says it Himself that He is just.
Because He says so.
And well, that's one of the reasons. I gave you multiple, but that's one of the reasons. And
Okay.
because Allah is all knowing, because He created me and He has perfect knowledge, why would I not take His word for it?
Got it. Okay. So then what does it mean? What does justice mean to you specifically? Like, is it fairness, proportionality, moral rightness, or just, or is it just simply Allah just doing whatever He wills?
Equity.
Equity? Okay. So it's equity. All right. And so what does it mean then to own a conscious moral agent? Is it moral authority, or is it like origination? Like, I created you, I own you now. Or is it I have moral authority over you?
We could say moral authority.
Moral authority? Okay. Okay. And so then in your mind, because you said that sufficient evidence for you is that Allah said so, and then He handed us down laws.
That's one of
Okay.
the reasons. Yeah.
All right. And is punishment corrective, like retributive, like it's revenge? Is it a deterrent, or is it expressive? Like, what kind of punishment is it? Like, how do you categorize the punishment?
Well, it's categorized in two ways. One is the punishment that He demonstrated in this world
Yeah.
to certain people, and the other punishment is for the afterworld, which is hell and heaven.
Okay. So, but what kind of punishment is it? Like, because we have different types of punishment, right? We have corrective punishment. We've got, retributive, like eye for an eye. We've got, punishment as a deterrent, or, like there's just different kinds of punishment. So what is the punishment from Allah? What does it do, or what's its purpose?
Well, it differs for everybody. For some, it will be retributive. For some, it will be corrective, and it will be eternal for some.
Okay.
So, when it comes to worldly punishment, like, it can be retributive, it can be corrective, but when it comes to after death, it can be eternal. So it's hard to categorize it in one. I think it's a mixture of all.
Okay. And then you've previously said that justice is defined solely as whatever Allah wills and does, right?
Islamic justice, yes.
Okay. So is there any possible action Allah would take that would be unjust?
No.
No, not at all?
No.
Okay.
He's the most just.
He's the most just. So if we look at, like, say, because your book does say that, like, non-believers are eternally punished, right? That's what your book says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but although I must say that it's a very the topic of non-believers being in eternal damnation. It's a very, very complicated topic. I don't think 20 minutes will do it justice, but I'm gonna answer your question with the best of my ability. I'm just trying to tell you it's a very complicated topic. It's not as simple as, well, if you're not a Muslim, you go to the eternal life. If you're a Muslim, you go to heaven. It's not that simple.
Yeah. Okay. So it does say in your book, there is no God but Allah, right?
Yeah.
And so if I don't believe that, then that means that I don't believe what your book says, right?
So if you don't believe Allah is the only God, even though I provide evidence or other Muslims provide evidence for you, then yeah, you will be a non-believer.
Okay. So yeah, because I mean, I'm a non-resistant non-believer, which means that if there's evidence that is sufficient to demonstrate that Allah is real and exists, then yeah, I believe in Allah.
Perfect. That's all I can ask you for.
Yeah. And so I just, because I've talked to lots of Muslims and I haven't received any of that yet. I haven't received sufficient evidence. So
I'm here to give it to you if you want to talk about that.
Okay. Well, I think the other part of it, I think in more of a general term, is is because like would you agree or disagree that if I just stop breathing right now, like my heart just stopped, it's a good chance I'm not going to see Allah in heaven, right?
I'd say it's a high probability.
High
But I
probability.
wouldn't be able to say for sure. 'Cause
Yeah. I'm not
like I
asking for a
said, Allah,
guarantee, but what would you
yeah,
like if you had to put like
humans can't
odds,
guarantee anything.
percentage odds? What would you put it at? Percentage odds? Because
It's
I don't.
either
Yeah.
it's either 100% you're going to hell or either 100% you're going to heaven. There's no like it's not like a mathematical equation.
No. What I meant is the percentage chance that I would go to heaven, not the like I wouldn't be like stuck in between. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't like spend 50% in heaven, 50%. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is
if there's
like,
evidence
is it
provided for you and you don't believe in Allah, you'll go to hell.
got it? Okay. And so, is there any provision then that if the evidence is insufficient?
Of course, if the evidence is insufficient, if somebody provides Islam to you, not in a light way, and if they represent Islam to you
Mhm.
in a bad light, then you will be judged according to those
Okay.
standards. And then and that's how it is basically.
Got it.
And because there's also just like a passage that came to mind. It's in Surah An-Nisa. It says that indeed Allah does not wrong even the weight of an atom. So I think that's a
Yeah.
very powerful verse.
Mhm.
It's a very powerful verse because your capacity, your situation, your mental capacity, these are all things that are taken into account. And if I come to you and I'm not able to represent Islam in the best way, and I misrepresented it any way, and you don't believe in it, then you will be judged according to those principles.
Yeah. Now, what about like, because there is a passage in the Quran that says that non-believers have veils put over their eyes so they can't see the truth, right? So how would you be able to distinguish if just simply Allah put a veil over my eyes and I can't see, versus I'm just outright denying what you are telling me? How would you be able to, like, what test could you run to distinguish that?
What verse are you referring to?
Here, I'll have to look up exactly. I don't know it by heart. I've only read it twice. Read the Quran twice. So
Yeah,
that's the part I remember.
okay, I think I pulled it up. What are you talking about? How was Allah just? Let me.
No. What it says that Allah pulls a veil over the minds of non-believers, or over the eyes of non-believers.
Okay, I mean, we can just go from there then, I guess.
Yeah. So something like that. I think if you look up veil, you'll find it.
Okay, hang on. Let me turn my computer.
Because I mean, like I said, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to change my mind, but you'd understand, right? Like, you need evidence to change your mind, right? You need reasons to change your mind. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you just tell me Allah is real, here's a book, I've read the book and it doesn't resonate as true to me, then how could I be responsible for that?
Okay, I see. Oh, I don't have the exact. I'm not able to find the exact passage, but I think it's a metaphor, and the metaphor is that your initial rejection was that you had your heart close to the message. That's why there's a veil in your eyes, because Allah controls your guidance. Allah says all over the Quran that He guides whom He will and He misguides whom He
Yeah, exactly. He guides who He will and misguides who He will, right? So it's according to His will whether or not I would know.
Yeah, so your first rejection, when you choose to reject, when you have your eyes closed, when you close your heart to the message, then Allah will misguide you and He will not guide you back to the message, because you have that first rejection in your heart already. You've built your philosophy around atheism. You've built your philosophy around this ungodly world, meaning you will not be guided and you will have a veil over your eyes. So what that means is, now even if I give you all the evidences in the world, if I prove to you that 100% of these are things that in this book would not be able to say it in the 7th century and it not been from a deity, you would still not believe it because you have a veil over your eyes. You have your heart closed. You build your foundation around atheism. And that's what that verse means.
Okay.
When you reject the message initially, then God seals your heart. So when you have a sealed heart, you won't be able to believe.
Okay. So if I have a sealed heart, I won't be able to believe. So how do you distinguish whether or not I have a sealed heart or not? How do you what test could you run to determine that? Because I just told you I'm a non-resistant non-believer, so that would be by definition mean that my heart isn't sealed, that I'm still open to looking at evidence and being open to being convinced. So that by definition literally says my heart is not sealed. So how would you, because like I said, I've talked to many Muslims before you. And so how do you know that it's my heart sealed versus just Allah continually put the veil over my eyes? Like, how would you, distinguish?
Let me answer this way. First of all, I'm not Allah, and I don't know what goes in your heart. But let me respond from what you said. I think the important distinction here is that your first rejection is also your rejection and your psychology, your exposure, the way you believe. Allah knows it all since He's the all-knowing. So when Allah says He puts a veil over your eyes when the message is being given to you, He knows your psychology, He knows your first rejection, He knows your initial rejection, and He knows that your your philosophy, your upbringing, the way you want to believe, it's all circular in your own brain, meaning you won't believe it. So that's what that verse says. But if you're truly open your heart and you're just like, you know what, provide me evidence, and if I see that this is the truth, if I can make it make sense in my head, and if I can determine that nobody else in a time in the 7th century Arabia will not be able to write it other than a deity, then I would believe. If you have that kind of a mindset, you will not have a veil over your eyes, and you would inevitably believe in this message. And that's what the Quran says also. So to answer your question, it'll be very hard for me to determine if you have that veil over your eyes. But if you say the type of person that you are, if I provide you all this evidence, then I think it's inevitable for you to believe.
So let me read you something from Scientology. You know what Scientology is?
I think it's a Christian branch.
It's not Christian. It's just a religion, but it's not really Christian. But this is what L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, said. So it says a suppressive person is a person who seeks to suppress or damage Scientology or a Scientologist. These people are mentally ill. If you criticize Scientology, you are a suppressive person, which proves the doctrine about people like you is correct. Here, let me read you something from the Buddhist texts. So Dhammapada 155 through 156. People who have not observed the Dhamma, who speak falsely, are reborn in misery. Hindu tradition. Let's read the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are deluded, who are unfaithful, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, fall down into demonic births. Also says, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. So they're saying the exact same thing that your Quran says, right? Because Quran here it says here at 2:7, God has sealed their hearts and their hearing, and over their eyes there is a veil. They have a terrible punishment. So which of these? So how do I know that? Because if Islam is saying it, if and Christianity says it too. Like if you look at 2 Corinthians 4 verse 4, in their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. Christianity says it, Islam says it, Buddhism says it, Scientology says it, and so does Hinduism. So if you guys are all saying the same exact thing, how do I know that yours is the true religion?
And that's a fair question. I just have like 10 seconds to respond. That's a fair question. I could also write a book and say the same thing. If you don't believe in my book, then your heart is sealed, your eyes are veiled, that's why I think it's a fair argument. But what I would say as a response to you, how many books can be written 1400 years ago, which has the modern day scientific information that we have today? How many books can be written over 23 chapters that talks about everything? Law, physics, science, sociology, criminology, anything, any topic that you could think of is in the Quran, and be consistent with science, be consistent with mathematics, be consistent with history, and be consistent within the future. How many religions can send a prophet that can have prophecies that are relevant in today's world, and have prophecies that can be verified throughout history? not many religions can do that. So I think you can come to a conclusion through a process of elimination, where you can eliminate any religion that has errors in it, any religion that has scientific errors in it,
Yeah.
any religion that are not consistent with history, any religion that has prophecies that can be proven wrong, and any religion that has contradictions in the
Okay.
religion.
So
I think the only religion that stands out is Islam, so therefore you would stick with Islam,
all
even if
right.
there are similarities
I'm
with
going to
other
stop you
religions.
right there so I can do the live goal. So I can do the kick poll. So let's start the kick poll, and if HD stays another 20 minutes, maybe we can, you know who Ems is?
Oh yeah, that guy. He's very annoying, but
Yeah. We'll bring Ems in if you want to do
he's
that.
he's a very disingenuous, annoying guy, and his whole personality is that he's an ex-Muslim. I mean, I would talk to him if you want me to, but I already know we're not gonna
Have
get
you
into
talked to
this.
him before?
I have. He brought like a ridiculous argument.
Oh, okay.
His
So you
argument,
guys
his
know each
argument
other.
was, I'm telling you, this guy is not smart at all, but you can bring him up,
Okay.
sure. I mean, and whenever there's an ex-Muslim where their whole life revolves around them leaving their religion, you already know that they're not shit. But I mean, I'll be down to talk to him. I don't care.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's see if you pass the kick poll first, and then we can bring him on, and then we'll see if we can have that happen. We can talk about like one or two things in the Quran, whether or not they're true.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So, all right, guys, we're going to start the kick poll, and happy face to keep HD and possibly bring on Ems if Ems is available, or crying face if you want to move on to the next guest. So we've got people here waiting. So up to you, chat. So I'm going to start it now. All right. Well, I got to say, Ems is one of my friends, and, and he's actually taught me quite a bit about the Quran. And so, I can understand if you have that opinion of Ems. I happen to think that he's a very upstanding person, and I will say to you that from what I know, his life is a lot more than just speaking out against Islam. So that's what I know. All right. So how are we doing on that kick poll, everybody? So we got about less than 30 seconds. Ooh, it's a close one. That's 16 and to keep. And
wait, which one means I'm getting kicked? The crying or the smiling?
The crying means to move on to the next one. Happy face means to keep you. So if you haven't voted, you're more than welcome to vote. And who is sandbagging? Who's sandbagging? Stop.
I mean,
naughty. Stop sandbagging. Let's vote. Okay. Oh, it was close. It was very close.
I think that's close enough, man. You got to keep me on here.
Oh, it's a tie. Okay. Well, if you want to go, you're more than welcome to. I'm not gonna make you stay, but if you want to stay,
no, I'll stay. I want to stay.
Okay.
I want to talk to you more because you seem like you're like one of the nicest atheists I've talked to, and you're not like very confrontational.
I appreciate that.
I think it can be productive if we talk a little more.
All right, so let's do another vote. You sandbaggers I still love you, but you're naughty. All right, so let's do it again. You guys know what to do. Happy face to keep HD, or crying face to move on to the next guest. And let's get more votes in because we only had 42 and we have 120 people in here. So let's get more. All right, let's keep voting, everybody. And if you tie again, or if you come out on top, I'll keep you here. So, all right. So this is going along swimmingly. And see, this is the thing, YouTube.
People have spoken, man.
People are speaking. Yeah, exactly. So that's
they
why we put it to a vote. Yeah. Yeah. I got to figure out a way to do the poll on YouTube. I'm gonna look into that, because you guys shouldn't just be sitting there like up in the upper balconies just watching this, right? I want to have you participate too. So, all right. Okay, well, it looks like you're gonna make it through. So why don't I'll send out a little message to Ems here and see if he's available. And see if we can do this. Okay, where is he? He's on my list here somewhere. There he is. All right. So we'll invite Ems in, and we'll see. You know what? I'll send him a message too. Because, yeah, if you guys have talked before, then okay. All right. Let's see if he comes in. And you guys can alert me when M's. Oh, there he is. He's here. All right. Bring him up. Hello, M's. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you. Good to see you. You have safe travels?
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Hope you had safe travels. All right. So I'll catch M's up real quick after he stops teacupping. And then
I'm here.
Okay. So just to catch you up, yeah, today, as you see, the topic is what's the best evidence God is just. And so HD and I were kind of going over me as a non-believer, I'm a non-resistant non-believer. And he indicated to me that if I reject the message of Allah the first time, then my heart is hardened. And that then I guess that's it for me, right? I guess I have to accept it or reject it from there. And so we kind of went over that, like we went over like Surah 2:7, and I read him some stuff from other religions where it says basically the same thing. And so
I mean, you could just read 7179.
Okay, 7179. Okay, and I guess we can start with that. But what I was gonna get into, I can test my new layouts, chat. So this might be this will be exciting. So let's see how that goes. How does that look, chat? How does that look? Actually here, I got to do something real quick. So give me just a second. I got to restart the timer. Okay. So there we go. All right. So I've got that, but then I got to switch over to, I have to switch over to Quran.com, right? So that's what I got to do. So give me just a second, then I can do this. Oh man. This might be tough. Okay, this is what I can do. Let's see. We can add a source browser. There we go. Okay. And we will Quran.org, right? Is that what it is? Oh, nobody can hear me. Sorry, nobody can hear me. Sorry about that. So we'll add it to this one here real quick. Okay. Give me just a second. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We can hear you, Will. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. I just got to set up this little thing here. Okay. And it's Quran.org, right?
.com, I think.
.com?
It shouldn't matter. Just search up Quran 7179.
Okay. Yeah, I changed my layout, M's, and so I got to add like little things like this. All right. So it's just going to like dominate the screen, but that's okay. We'll just do it like this. Okay. So you said 7179? Oh, I'm sorry. That's not right. Let me try it again. 7179. Just do it like that. Nope. Did you give that to me again, Ems?
7179.
Oh, 179. Like this? Like that. Okay. Can everybody see that? I can move it around here. Oh, geez. Okay. Give me a second. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. Like totally see through. So let me change that. Okay, that's better. Do you guys see that?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. I'll fix the size and all that stuff. So just give me just a second.
What's the argument is being presented?
Okay. So that's 7179. Okay. So you guys can see that, right? And then I'll make it smaller. Okay. Okay. Indeed, we have destined many jinn and humans for hell. They have hearts they do not understand, with eyes they do not see, and ears they do not hear with. They are like cattle. In fact, they're even less guided. Such people are entirely heedless. So this kind of lines up with what I've been saying. Yeah.
Well, what's the chapter and the verse, sorry?
7,179.
Seven. Yeah. Chapter
You can
7,
also find
179.
this. You can find this mentioned in
7:1,739.
179.
and if you search up Muslim 2662C.
2662C. Okay. So here.
I read it.
Okay. Here, we'll do this. We'll just go to Google. It'll be a little bit easier that way. Okay. So Muslim 2662C. Oh, yeah, it's right there. Very first one. Book of Destiny. Oh, that's interesting. Sounds like so Indiana Jones, just not going to lie. So I don't mean any disrespect. It just, okay. Can you guys see that? Okay. This is Allah's messenger. There's happiness for this child. Is a bird from the birds of paradise, for it committed no sin, nor has reached the age which one can commit sin. Says Aisha, peradventure, it may be otherwise. As God created for paradise those who, are fit for it while they were yet in the father's loins. Oh, I see what you're saying. And created for hell those who are to go to. So, in other words, it sounds like what you're saying.
It's talking about a Christian child who Aisha thought is going to go to heaven. And the Prophet says he might go to hell because people have been created for hell while they were yet in their father's balls. And if you go to Bukhari 3208.
3208. Okay. So I got to go back here. All right. We got to refresh. Okay. I have a different way to do this. It'll be a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, what's it called again?
Bukhari 3208.
Ooh, I don't know if I can spell that.
B-U-K-H-A-R-I.
A-K-H-A-R. B-U-A-K-H-A-R-I. Got it. Okay. Give me a second while I pull this up. The beginning of creation. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Let me do this. This will be a little easier if I do it like this. A window capture, and then pop that. And then select the window to capture this one. Okay. So give me just a second so I can kind of fix this. You'll probably want to see, you might want to see the Arabic, so I'll fix that. Yeah, I want to see that. Okay.
I mean, I understand the argument, so I mean, we can go from there.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, this one is important too.
All right.
Okay, what is this?
Allah's messenger, the true and truly inspired, said, the matter of the creation of a human being is put together in the womb of the mother in 40 days. Interesting. And then he becomes a clot of thick blood. Oh, yes. Okay. For a similar period, and then a piece of flesh for a similar. Then Allah sends an angel who is ordered to write 4 things. He is ordered to write down the deeds, his livelihood, his date of death, and whether he will be blessed or wretched. Then the soul is breathed into him. So a man amongst you may do good deeds until there's only a cubit between him and paradise. And then what has been written for him decides his behavior, and he starts doing evil deeds characteristic of the people of the hellfire. So again, this is saying that it's predetermined. That's what this is saying.
Sure. So let me respond to both of the hadiths.
Yeah.
I think the doctrine. I think the only way to, for me to answer this is, I don't know if M is familiar with the doctrine of Qadr, that Allah has a perfect foreknowledge. He knows the future,
This is not about
meaning that
foreknowledge.
children were not being punished for
HD.
the action they committed as children.
Yeah,
I'm
Habibi,
still talking.
this is, you're wasting our time again. This is
Wait,
not
I'm
about
answering to
knowledge.
your arguments.
Read the hadith on the screen and
This is a
try to
different hadith.
comprehend what is being
I'm
said.
coming to this. I'm coming to
Maybe.
this. Wait,
Go
I'm
ahead.
responding to the first hadith you brought up. So, meaning that children are not being punished for the action they committed as children, but it will be their outcome as reflected when there would be adults. And because Allah has perfect foreknowledge, He would have been aware of the choices that they would have freely made had they lived a life to maturity. This wouldn't be an issue if you believe Allah is all
By
knowing,
the way, this is
because
not
Allah would
what
have
the
perfect
scholars are.
foreknowledge and He would be aware of the choices that people would freely make up to the adulthood. And this still doesn't contradict Him being full just, because the very fact that He's judging everyone based on His foreknowledge is Him being fully just, because He's not giving any exceptions to anybody. And as
Okay.
far as the other hadith goes, that again reflects Allah's perfect foreknowledge, because it's not coercion. What's written
it is
correspond
coercion.
to what somebody will freely choose. Hey, dude, you cannot bring arguments and not let me respond to you. Okay, this is not like a.
If you're
You have
just
to let
lying
me
about what is
respond if you're gonna bring
if you're
arguments.
lying, Habi, if you're lying about what was brought up on the screen, then I'm gonna interrupt you. Bring it
You
back
brought
up
up two hadiths on the screen. Do you not want me to respond to both?
And the first one you have butchered the scholarly interpretation of, which has
Host,
nothing
am
to
I
do with what you said. The
not
second one,
supposed to respond to both of the hadiths?
Yeah, you can.
not
It's-
when you're lying. No.
Then why is he interrupting
Well,
me?
I think he's-
responded to one. I'm responding to the other one now.
I think he's jumping in because
Well, he can't, because I'm still
You're
giving
simply
my
lying.
response. We're going. This is a.
You're simply lying.
well,
Okay,
let
I'm
me
lying.
put it
You
this
can
way.
respond after I'm done talking.
Okay,
You can
we
tell me
said
how I'm lying.
The hadith.
You can
the
tell me
hadith,
how I'm lying
Bukhari,
after I'm
Habi.
done responding.
Okay, hold on.
Stop interrupting.
Hold on.
Go ahead and waste your time. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Let me ask it this way: what where are you getting your interpretation of this? Is this a scholarly interpretation or?
Yeah, it's a classical
It is
scholarly
not.
interpretation.
Nope.
There's a doctrine known as the doctrine of Qadr. Qadr essentially means that Allah knows your future. Because He has perfect foreknowledge, He's all knowing. He already knows what you're going to do up until maturity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I ask about that then? Because
Sure,
I think here's the rub, because what you're saying, it just kind of, it goes against what we just read, in the hadiths, right? And so I think that's what Ems's point is.
So
And-
how? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, and well, what
I
it's,
mean, I can
go ahead.
explain there.
Yeah, go ahead.
The scholars for Muslim 2662C, they have, you're confusing like multiple different things. They do not say that the reason the Prophet said that the child may end up in hell is because God knows what He might have chosen if he had grown up. That is not the interpretation of the scholars. The scholars say that the child, the child follows his parents. If his parents are Muslim, then the child is considered Muslim and granted paradise. If his parents are not Muslim, the child is tested on the Day of Judgment. And based upon the test on the Day of Judgment, that decides if he ends up in heaven or in hell. That is the
Okay,
interpretation of the scholars.
can I get which scholar said this? And
Ibn
can I
Baz.
get the source?
Ibn Baz, you can find it when you search up
Abbas?
ibnbaz.org.
Ibn
Ibn
Abbas?
Baz.
Okay,
Ibn
let me see.
Baz.
Can you give me the
Ibn
source?
Baz. Ibn Baz. Listen
Ibn
closely.
Baz, I'm not familiar with his work, but you can give
You
me
don't
the
know Ibn
source.
Baz.
Can I get the
You
source?
just write up ibnbaz.org and then الولد تابع لأبويه.
Hang on. So ibnbaz.org and what?
And then الولد تابع لأبويه.
Hang on. These are all Arabic. I don't speak Arabic.
The source is in Arabic.
You're right. I don't speak Arabic, so I'm not.
So
gonna
the
take
source
your
doesn't
word
exist
for
in
it.
English.
I don't speak Arabic. I'm not gonna take
Well,
your word
that
for it.
sucks.
I can provide you my
I do not
source.
care.
I can provide you my source, but if you're gonna give me a source in
Provide me
Arabic, I'm not
the
gonna take
source
your
that
word
says
for it.
that regarding the hadith that I provided you.
So, host, is it just for me to provide you a source in French if you don't speak French?
No, because the language
probably
of the,
not.
Well,
the
I
religion,
wouldn't-
So I'm gonna ask
the
you to
religion is
give
in
me a
Arabic.
source in English.
Well, that's the
if you're
thing,
not
I
gonna
wouldn't-
accept
The
my
religion is in
word.
Arabic.
But see, the problem is if it originated in French and I didn't speak French, I wouldn't just accept it as true, if that makes sense. I would want to learn French first, so then I could better
Oh,
understand.
learn French or find sources that are in English
Indeed.
or any because
Provide-
Islam
Well, yeah,
because Islam is not only
That's a
hang on,
start.
Islam is not only associated with people who speak Arabic.
No, it is.
Islam
It
is
is.
for everybody. So
It is.
so
No, it is
hang
for
on.
people who speak Arabic. He
See, this is
says-
why I don't like
he
this dude.
says-
But it's
He's overly
primarily-
excited.
says-
Well, one
Quran
thing
says-
is,
The Quran says
could you stop?
verbatim. It says
I know you're
verbatim.
excited, but you need to stop talking so much. You need to stop interrupting me.
It says verbatim that
So
we have made it in
Islam
Arabic
is for
Quran, so you
worldwide.
can understand.
Islam is for worldwide, meaning that if I don't speak Arabic, I can still find sources from scholars who
No.
speak English, where I can find their work and
Not
have it
everything.
translated for me in English, and then I can understand it.
Okay.
Not
Now I
everything.
have sources in English. He says Islam is only for Arab, but I have sources that are in English.
I don't think
and
that's what he
scholars
s-
that
I don't think that's what he
provide
said.
their sources in English, and I can
Sure.
also provide those sources.
Provide a scholarly interpretation for Muslim 2662C that says what you said. Go ahead.
All right. Let me pull that back up. So it's Muslim 2662C.
Because it is not going to say what you said.
C.
I mean,
Alright.
if you know the doctrine of Qadr, then
Habibi, the
you'll
doctrine of
very
Qadr,
easily be
the
able to
doctrine-
relate those
Habibi,
to you.
The doctrine of
Again,
Qadr.
you're in a
Yeah,
script.
Habibi.
The issue with ex-Muslims such as you,
Could
is
you
you guys
just mute him,
you
please?
guys
He's
always
just,
have a
one
script,
word.
Yeah, let's
and you're able to use your script. If somebody is not familiar with
Okay.
Islamic
commentary.
with Islamic
The
material, you're
commentary is
going to be
pointless.
able to convince
all
them
right.
of this.
The
Let's
meta commentary is
Yeah,
if you talk
let's-
to atheists,
okay.
I know how it's.
I got to stop with
Yeah,
the meta.
host,
all right.
tell to stop interrupting me.
Hold on,
Yeah,
If
HD.
someone is an atheist,
We gotta
atheist,
stop
it'll
with
be
the
very
meta.
easy for them to fall for this. But if someone is familiar with Islamic
meta is
doctrine,
amazing,
such as
guys.
me, it's very easy
You're not
to reconcile these
familiar with
verses and
anything.
understand these topics.
Well,
So you're
that's
not
what
even
I'm
able
asking you to
play
do.
those
You're
games
familiar
with
with
me.
anything.
All right.
Your script just won't work on me, dude. Like
Yeah.
I understand
Alright.
if you're talking to an atheist,
If
your
he's
script
monologuing,
might
just
work on them.
mute him.
You might say, "Oh, this religion is so violent. Look at this." Like that might work on them, bro. But I
Well, hang on,
understand
hang on,
Islamic work.
HD.
Keep
Hang
on
on.
You can't
Yeah.
do
Hey.
this to me,
Well,
bro.
hang
Don't
on.
worry.
Let's reread this again because it says, Aisha, peradventure, it may be otherwise because God created for paradise those who are fit for it while they were yet in their father's loins, and created for hell those who are to go to hell. I mean, that reads to me that God has already
host,
decided.
nice.
He's
Can
already
you do me a
decided.
favor now?
That
Host,
is the case.
stop
Just
talking. I'm
Trust,
responding.
could you
Host,
give me,
what's the
could you
point
give
of
me
me
more
being here if
power?
I can't
Wait,
talk?
hold on a second.
Because you're literally
Host,
monologuing for
host,
the
can you
entire duration.
search
You're monologuing.
Okay.
the doctrine
monologuing.
of Qadr in
Give me,
Islamic
yeah.
perspective?
I will in a
Just
please
second,
do
but
that.
let me hear what Ems has to
Search
say.
up,
Give me a
search
second.
up the doctrine
hold on.
of Qadr
Okay,
in
HD,
Islamic
HD.
scholars'
Hold on,
work.
lock in
HD.
HD. Hang on, just give me a second.
Find the source.
I'm
that
not
says-
talking to you until you stop interrupting me. Until you act like a civil human being
All right.
and understand how a
Again,
conversation
maybe
works.
stop lying.
So
Okay.
search up
Maybe
the
stop
doctrine
lying.
of Qadr, host.
Okay, hold on
The
a
doctrine
second.
And that will
Qadr does not
reconcile
state-
these
and
and that will
it does not
reconcile these
state.
hadiths.
It does not state. It does not state that a child
Just let me know
is
what-
judged.
Are
Let me know
we-
once you're done
okay.
searching that up.
So you're saying that the doctrine of Qadr will
Qadr, Qadar.
QADR?
That talks about the Allah's foreknowledge and the fact that He understands the future.
It has
He's
nothing to do
all-knowing,
with
and that will
this hadith.
reconcile these hadiths together.
It has nothing
So
to do with
please-
this hadith.
Okay,
Not a
nice,
single scholar
nice,
said
nice.
that.
I'm talking
All
to
right.
the host.
Well,
so
let's
stop talking now.
look at it,
Do it.
and if it
And read what's on the screen.
okay. So is it showing it? Okay.
I mean, you can read the AI.
it's
Yeah,
semi
it's fine
it
too.
semi shows it. So here, let me
Just read the AI. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, I'm gonna pull to the AI. So we'll just go to that because all right. So the
It
doctrine
has
of,
nothing to do with the hadith. Go ahead.
Stop talking. I'm talking to the host. Please read the host.
hold on. The doctrine of Qadr. I hope I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. In Islam
okay,
is the
it's okay.
fundamental belief in Allah's divine decree and predestination, meaning everything that happens, good or bad, is known,
Yes,
willed,
good.
recorded, and created by God according to his perfect knowledge
Perfect.
and wisdom. Yet humans
Perfect.
remain
Keep
responsible
reading.
for their choices, leading to judgment on the day of
Oh!
resurrection. So hold on a second.
Oh, so Allah knows your future.
Okay, hold on a second though. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Like I'm
'Cause-
telling you, these guys are on a script host.
All
Like
right.
these
I know.
ex-Muslims, they all have a
Again,
script.
All right, well, hang on.
Habibi, you're confused again.
Hang on a second.
Your
second.
script doesn't work on me, bro. Don't worry.
Well, here's
No, you're
the
just confused.
problem
This does not
because
support you in any way.
yeah, because here's the problem I'm seeing. If Allah knows, because it says He knows your destiny in the what was it the womb of the mother? I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
know
yeah.
he sets it. He sets it.
yeah.
That's what all-knowing means, host. If
Yes.
when you're all-knowing,
So
you know
he's
the future
all-knowing.
of everybody. in
Yes,
any
so he
situation,
knows
any
the future of
circumstances.
everybody, right? So
in any circumstances. if
okay,
you're
so hold on.
all-knowing.
If he knows the future of everybody, that means before I was even an idea in my father's mind, I was just a twinkle in my father's eye, I was predestined to be an atheist, right?
Right, but that doesn't contradict your free will.
I'm not asking about that. What I'm asking you is, was I predestined to be an atheist?
you were predestined to be however you're going to be because Allah knows your future. But
Yeah,
him
He knows your future.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Okay.
But him simply having the knowledge of the actions you're going to take doesn't follow that it's determined for you to be a specific way. For instance, hang on, don't interrupt me. If I'm watching a boxing fight, let's just say Muhammad Ali and let's say Mike Tyson, what's his name? I forgot his name. Whatever. I know the way that fight is going to be because I know it happened in 1979. I've already watched it before. But if they're inside the screen, they're not going to know how that will play out, meaning they're in the present. But
Sure.
I'm outside of the present because I have the foreknowledge of what will happen in the future. I'm going to be able to determine what the end of the fight will be. And that goes the same way with Allah's knowledge. Him simply having the knowledge of how you're going to turn out has no effect on you turning out that way. That's
Okay.
you choosing to be that way.
I have a
So
question.
you're simply a kafir and denying the Quran and the Hadith.
Okay. I have a question. So my question to you, HD, is if Allah's knowledge is perfect, right? And He knows my future perfectly. If Allah knows tomorrow at 3 p.m., I'm going to choose to drive to Walmart. Can I choose to drive to Target tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
So if it this question
yes
doesn't
or
make
no.
any sense. It's fallacious.
Oh, it makes total sense because
if you were gonna go to hang on, I'll tell you. Because if you were gonna go to if you were gonna go to Target instead of Walmart, Allah would have known that it's Target, not Walmart.
No, that's not what I'm asking you. What I'm asking
what are
you
you
is what I'm asking. Yeah. So I'll say it again. If Allah knows perfectly that I'm going to Walmart at 3 p.m. and it's 2:30 the next day, right? And I'm trying to decide which store to go to. Which store will I choose to go to? Whichever store. Yeah, I'm trying to decide. I need to go to either Target or Walmart. Which store, according to Allah's perfect knowledge of the future, which store am I going to choose?
Host, with all due respect, your question doesn't rationally follow. It's illogical.
Why
it's
not?
not logical. Yeah, I'll tell you what's not logical. Hang on. I'm talking to the host. The reason why it's not logical is because you said Allah's perfect knowledge, meaning if something is perfect, it ought to be that way. So when you're standing somewhere, you're deciding, oh, do I want to go to Target? Do I want to go to Walmart? If you end up choosing to go to Walmart, Allah would have known that. It doesn't.
Okay.
That's why your question doesn't follow.
HD,
because Allah's knowledge is perfect.
Is
so logically
Allah's
speaking,
knowledge perfect, right?
Whatever choice you were going to make, Allah would have known the outcome regardless.
Allah's knowledge is perfect, right? So Allah knows what store I'm going to choose, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just like the boxing match. If you've already watched the boxing match of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, right? And you know for a fact that Muhammad Ali gets his jaw broken in that fight. Okay.
Yep.
There is that fight where he gets his jaw broken, right? Is there any way that Muhammad Ali does not get his jaw broken when you watch the fight? There's no way, right?
No, because it already happened.
It already happened, exactly. So, because you have perfect knowledge of that fight, right? Because let's just say you've watched the tape 500 times and you know exactly when it's going to happen to the minute, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Or will Muhammad Ali, when the 501st time you watch the fight, just suddenly decide, I'm not going to go out for this round, effectively avoiding the broken jaw? Not going to do that, right? It's going to happen because you know this perfectly. So just the same, if Allah knows perfectly which store I'm going to choose tomorrow at 3 o'clock and it's 2:30, which store am I going to choose according to what Allah knows?
So you're going to choose
the one He knows that I'm going to choose, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So then that, according to His knowledge. Okay. So then that means if that is the case, how do I have free will? And this will be the last question. Then I got to go to the next kick poll.
Okay. So can I answer your question? So
hold on. No. I just need the answer to the question. How do I have free will?
I will.
Yeah. No questions. Just answer. How do I have free will?
My question will be an answer to your question. Okay.
All right. If it is,
yeah.
But if it's not, then I'm gonna just okay. That's fair. I'll give you a chance.
That's fair. Listen, I'm not gonna disrespect you because you've been very respectful.
Yeah. I'm not.
I just want to say so please don't take anything like personally.
Yeah.
So the issue with your question is fallacious. It's not rational, and I don't have enough time to demonstrate that. But to answer your question, host, if I know the sun will rise the next morning, is my knowledge of the sun rising causing the sun to rise?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Wait,
didn't-
that is what you're asking.
That's not what I'm asking
the
at all.
same way- hang on,
I'm
hang on,
not
let me
when
finish.
I'm not
Let me
asking what's
finish.
causing
Let
me to
finish.
choose it. I
The
didn't say
same
that.
way, the
No,
same
no, no,
way
no, no,
my
no.
knowledge
Hold on.
doesn't cause the sun to rise.
I did not
that
say
way Allah's
I did not
knowledge
ask
doesn't
you who
make
caused
you
me
choose
to
a
make the
specific
choice.
sword. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, HD, you gotta hold on. I did not ask you who caused me to make the choice. I asked you what choice am I going to make according to Allah's perfect knowledge. That's all I asked you. I didn't ask anything about who forced me, who caused me, nothing. I asked you who is causing me. I didn't say who was causing me. I asked you what choice am I going to make?
You're going to make the choice that's reflected on Allah's knowledge, not because Allah caused you to make it.
I
but
didn't
because Allah
ask.
knows-
I didn't say He caused me to make.
That's why
I didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I understand.
All
You're
right.
going to choose that. You're going to choose a story that's reflected on Allah's knowledge.
Perfect.
Not
Perfect.
because you've been coerced to choose that story, but because
I never
your free will
I never said
leads
that.
you to choose that story.
Yeah.
And Allah's knowledge doesn't affect it.
I
any
never
other
said
way.
that.
And
Okay.
you still maintain free will because somebody's knowledge doesn't contradict your free will.
At the beginning of existence, did Allah know that I was going to make that choice tomorrow at 3?
Yeah.
He knew for a fact, right? And and Allah created existence anyway.
Yep.
Could Allah have changed my choice?
He could have, but then that would contradict
Hold
Allah's Allah. Hang on, I'm
Hold
asking
on.
you a question. It's not a simple question. That would contradict Allah's verse in the Quran where He says multiple times that
Okay.
humans maintain free will and they're responsible for the wills that they
Okay.
choose.
Could I have changed my choice at the beginning of existence?
Again, it's so
it's a yes.
fallacious.
It's a yes or no. Could I have changed my choice at the beginning of existence?
Could you have changed your choice at the beginning of existence? You could have chose to live your life however you wanted.
No. That's not what I asked you. At the beginning of existence, when Allah created everything, could I have changed my choice of what store to go to tomorrow at 3:00?
You could have, but you didn't.
I did. I could have. At the beginning
You
of
could have, but you
existence.
didn't.
At the beginning of existence, I could have changed it.
You could have chose a different outcome, but you didn't because
Okay.
it's reflected.
I'm
on
asking
Allah's
you
knowledge.
at the beginning of existence.
Yeah, you could have chose to live a different life, of course.
At the beginning of existence.
Yeah, you could have chose to live a different life. But
How
you didn't.
so?
Because you have free will and you have free choice.
I have free will, and at the beginning of existence, at the beginning of all of existence, you're saying that I had a choice to change that.
When you had consciousness, you had the choice to live to live your life a certain way.
All right.
Trust, could you read something?
Actually, I got to do the kick poll.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
But
I got
this
to
is
do
for
that.
you, not for the guest.
Okay.
Can I just say something real quick? I
Well,
think
hold on,
M
hold on,
is one of the
hold on,
worst,
hold
one
on.
of the worst
Okay.
atheists that
Hey.
I've ever spoken to, and one of the worst
Okay.
ex-Muslims. He has a script.
HD.
Bro, lose your script.
HD.
I've talked to you
HD,
multiple
I'm
times. Lose
HD.
your script.
Okay. I'm going to start the kick poll.
Yeah, well, just an
And
advice.
happy
You need to leave a
happy
story.
face to keep HD for another 20 minutes, and then we'll
Host,
read that. But
Hold-
crying
hold, before
face
I
to
get
move on
kicked.
to the next one.
co-host, before I get kicked, I just want to say something real quick. Every critique that M brings you about Islam, I just want you to know it's been debunked
No, you simply
1,000
are too
years ago.
stupid to understand.
Every critique that he brings, I can
I
bring you
haven't-
scholars that
You're
debunked
simply too
it
stupid to understand.
1,000 years ago. That's why he's a dumb ex-Muslim. That's why he's gonna go to
Yeah,
hell.
let's not
for
let's
spreading
not do
falsehood.
let's not do the meta
Sure.
because
Scholars,
hey man, hey
scholars debunked it 1,000 years
HD,
ago, bro. I
HD.
don't need
Ooh,
to
this
debunk
name
that.
this
this is a bad crash out because HD. He might have interrupted you, but he didn't call you dumb. He didn't call you anything like that, bro. Come on.
But host, the only reason I'm doing it is because I've spoken to this guy multiple times, and no matter how many logical arguments you bring to him, it's like his head is
Yeah.
dented. It doesn't
You
get
have
through
no
his
logical
brain.
arguments.
And he doesn't.
Simply.
And he,
Yeah.
host. The other thing is, host. I just want to say one last thing. He acts like he knows Islam. That's what I hate about him. He acts like a scholar. He doesn't know shit. Everything
Okay.
that he brings has been debunked.
All right, hey,
1,000
HD.
years ago.
All right.
That's why I
Sure.
don't value him.
They've
That's why I don't
they
think he's
voted to
smart.
move on to the next ones, but I appreciate
All
you
right,
coming
thank-
up.
host,
Have
I
a
just
good
want
one.
to say thank you for the
Yeah,
conversation.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
I think it was productive between me and you. And Am needs to go back to Masjid and learn.
All
about
right.
religion.
Have a
All
good
right, have
one.
a good night.
All right.
Just, you should have. This is just. You should have. You should have held him to the reading of the scripture. When you read 7179, it says the beginning, and we have destined many jinn and humans to hell.
Okay.
We have predestined them for hell. If you read the beginning sentence of it, 7179, and I'm going to give you multiple verses. And when you went to 2662c, he says that he has created them for hell. It says, the wording is, he has created them for hell.
Yeah, it
While
says
they
it
were
right
yet in their
there. We
father's
have
loins.
destined many jinn
In
and humans
Bukhari.
for hell. Yeah.
In Bukhari 3208, it says that a man among you may do the actions of the people of heaven until there's an arm's length between him and heaven. And then what has been written for him overtakes him. So what has been written for him overtakes his actions and causes him to do the actions of people of hell. So what causes him to do the actions of people of hell is what has been written for him.
Yeah.
If you go to chapter 10:100, and can you read it, please?
Okay. 10:100. And
you should have stuck with the scripture with him.
okay.
Like you allowed him to run away from.
Okay.
You allowed him to run away from the scripture.
Hey,
because again, he was running. Good. It's okay. He was running away from the wording of the scripture. He was saying that this is caused by the qadar, which has nothing to do with the actual hadith. None of the scholars have said that this has to do with qadar.
Okay.
It is talking about the child being following his parents and being tested on the day of judgment because of the fact that he had not been tested on earth. It has nothing to do with what he could have done. This is for certain.
Yeah, I remember reading this. See, this doesn't make sense. This is one of the things that don't make sense. It says it is not for any soul to believe except by Allah's leave, and he will bring his wrath upon those who are unmindful. So basically he's saying you don't believe unless Allah says, but if you don't believe how Allah wants...
Could you go to...
It doesn't make sense.
14.4.
Okay, 14.4. Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't make sense. So 14.4. All right. We have not sent a messenger except in the language of his people to clarify the message forth. Yeah, I remember reading this one too. Then Allah leaves whoever he wills to stray and guides whoever he wills.
False translation.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say leaves who he wills to stray. It says then God deceives who he wills and guides who he wills.
He deceives who he wills and then guides who he wills. And he is the mighty all-wise. So even if it says leaves who he wills and guides who he wills, that's still the theme of it. That's still the basic.
It is still interfering.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Quran in multiple different places says that God is deceiving you away from Islam.
Yeah.
He deceives who he wills. And we have a hadith of multiple different hadiths that, like the ones I showed you, in which it is saying that he has made you for hell and that God, what he has written for you decides what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You should have stuck to the specific language of the scripture.
Okay.
Because he cannot just it literally says what has been written for him decides his action. What decides the action is what has been written for him.
Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together, maybe I'll DM you later and I'll ask for the list of these passages.
Do you have access to Justin's cheat sheet?
Yes, I do actually. Is it on there?
He added
it Quran section? Okay. I'll take a look at that. All right. I'll take a look at the Quran section. Oh, well, thank you for coming up again, man. It's always fantastic having you. All right. Have a good day, friend. So that was Ems. Ems is a gem, I gotta say. Yes, I know. A lot of Muslims. Oh boy. Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty clear. It says it like over and over again. It says it over and over again. It says right there. It says clearly. It says it. I'm going to check in and see if there's any super chats. Oh, that's from yesterday. My bad. Oh, wait. Nope. We have 3 super chats. Hey, all right. Okay. The first one says justice for Aisha. Oh, goodness. All right. I'll expand this a little bit so we can see. We actually got 3 of them. There you go. All right. So Gaius Husky is just on fire here. Justice for Aisha. Very naughty and loves being spanked. And then Lucario is a naughty hottie. That sounds more like an inside joke, but I love them all nonetheless. So thank you, Gaius Husky. So, all right. So those are the super chats that we have so far. All right. Let's move over to live. Back to live chat. So, and Rainbow Ash, justice for Aisha. That must be the hashtag. Well, we got to like that one. That must be the hashtag, justice for Aisha. I think I'm going to resize this so that's like just the right size. Yeah. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So But yeah, I mean, it just says it right there. And I guess that's the thing. It's like it says what it says, right? And so if it says what it says, and like how else would it be anything but cope? I guess that's my thing, you know? It's because like I said, I'm open to changing my mind, but if it says what it says and we're trotting out like the same reasons and the same arguments every time, then it's hard to just believe that it says something different, right? Like that just doesn't make sense. And Ems, if you haven't already, yes, invitation is still open to join my Discord, which by the way, you can join the Discord using the link in my profiles. I have them in all my profiles, and I got to see if it's time. Oh, goodness. Okay. It looks like we had potentially another. So we may potentially be bringing Ems back, but let's see. You think it's time for a mod announcement? I think it is. So I'm going to bring the talented and amazing Ethereal Ember. They are amazing and talented, and they are pretty awesome. So I'm going to bring them up if they can and do the mod announcement. I wonder if a Muslim woman approved Aisha being married like Christian women approve women being raped. Ooh, Robbie. Yikes. So yeah, I mean, I'm just, if we're having these, you know, if we're looking at these and it says something, but they're saying something the exact opposite. It's like, okay, well, you have free will. Well, then I don't know. Like, how can you like be, see, that is weird. Double E. It says you're not. That's the crazy part. And then it says invited. Forever Atheist, could you do me a favor, see if we can bring Double E up, because it doesn't say you in the list. This is so fucking annoying, and I really hate word for this. So maybe I can get you up here. Manage guests. Invite. Okay, I'm gonna use my other. There we go. Now you're up. All right. This is wild. I don't know why TikTok is like this. So I had to use my other account. Oh, maybe it's a connection issue? Maybe that's what it is. So the name is faded out. Yeah. Hey, Double E, maybe leave and come back. Yeah, maybe leave and come back and then rejoin. Maybe that'll fix it. TikTok is just so buggy. There we go. There's I see the invite, and I see the request. Should work this time, hopefully. I see. Okay, so on my phone, I see that you're connected, but then on my computer, I still got the red and blue balls circling each other. They're rotating. What is going on today? So odd. All right. You know what? Let's try one more time. We'll try one more time, and then we'll just go to the next guest, and then we'll try the mod announcement after that. Oh, that's why, Double E, that's why you can't connect, because Red Out of Trouble is here. See, Trouble's here. So we're having all kinds of trouble now. All kinds of trouble. And you know what? Red Hat Trouble, you still have the coupon for the early kick pull coupon. You still have that. So just FYI. Okay, well, Double E, we'll try Double E coming up again, but I'm gonna move on to our next guest. You almost used it back. I like that. You're being very judicious about it. You're like being very like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the right time. Okay, You got it, Double E. We'll bring you up here. I used TikTok to vote in the kick polls too. Oh, okay. There we go, Rainbow Ash. There we go. Well, I'm working on a way to do kick polls in YouTube. I'm going to find a way. We might just have to do like a manual count of happies and cries. We might just have to do that. Just do a manual count because I don't know. I don't know how else to do it. I don't know. But okay. Do a manual poll in chat. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way you can do it. Oh, thanks for the confetti. Appreciate that. Appreciate you for sending the confetti raw. And also, yeah, and JJ, you gifted M's. Thank you. And me and all that. So thank you guys for all the hearts and the gifts. Appreciate that. Dude, man, give me permission to make chat polls. I'll help out. Oh, okay. I can do that. Here, let's do it after the next guest. All right. We'll take the time because then we'll do some administrative stuff because Double E can do their announcement. I can figure out I'll give you the permission for the chat polls, all that stuff. I don't know how, but yes. Okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. Let's go to Rizzy. All right. How's it going, Rizzy?
Good. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, we're doing well. Thanks for asking. So how old are you?
I'm 29.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
The same one as the last guest.
Oh, another Muslim. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Have you talked to M's before?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's your best evidence that God is just?
I mean, is it okay if I kind of butt in on the last conversation? Because I feel like not only did the other guests kind of not really represent the Islamic position accurately, but I think I could kind of like clear some of your doubts as well.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, I think that's kind of where what we were looking at is, we have this issue here where we've got several passages in the Quran and the Hadiths where it basically says, Allah just predestines all this stuff. And so, yeah, maybe we can just pick it up from there.
You find it troubling to understand how you can reconcile someone actually having free will under such a under such an event such as like predestination, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to understand how you have free will when Allah, because you agree that Allah created all of existence, right? And Allah has perfect knowledge, perfect foreknowledge. So Allah knew at the start of existence that, what store I'm going to go to tomorrow at 3:00, right?
Yeah. So if I can explain it like this, are you familiar with possible world terminology?
Yeah, possible worlds. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you have all of the possible worlds where humans have free will. Okay, so that pretty simple concept. And Allah instantiates one of those worlds.
Okay.
What's the contradiction there?
Okay. Allah knows which world he's going to instantiate, right? Even before I've made the decision. So he knows, and he knows past, present, future.
But hold on. There's no even before I made the decision. All of your decisions are already completely accounted for within your free will before he made the choice.
Okay.
Right.
And so Allah chose to create me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would agree then that had he not created me, I would not be choosing which store to go to tomorrow at 3.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that means then that even though I'm making the choice doesn't happen without Allah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the choice doesn't happen without Allah, I'm still trying to understand because, hey, I'm with you. Because I keep saying I'm going to choose a store. I'm just saying that Allah knows which store I'm going to choose, right? And does Allah have the power to, influence which store I choose?
What do you mean by that?
Would he, like, say, let's just say in his perfect wisdom that tomorrow at 3:00 I must go to Target. Am I going to do anything but go to Target at 3:00?
In the scenario that I presented where you have, all of the possible worlds where you have free will, it's completely dependent on what you do.
Okay. Is it possible that Allah could say, you know what? He's going to choose to go to Walmart, so I'm not going to create him.
I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
I don't.
So if he,
I don't see how that's relevant, though.
It's relevant because Allah ultimately has the choice, right? Because I don't make, because you have,
he instantiated all of the possible worlds where all humans have free will.
So you acknowledge that I can't make a choice unless I exist. Allah determines whether or not I exist, right? And so if Allah determines whether or not I exist, Allah knows exactly what choice I'm going to make. Allah could decide whether or not to choose me based on this choice. So if I decide I want to go to Walmart, if it's already been instantiated, and then Allah decide, you know what, I don't want you going to Walmart, you're going to go to Target. You're saying, well, he won't tell you to, he won't force you to go to Target, yet he could just not create me, right?
Yeah, so so creating and not creating, that doesn't have to do with free will, right? Somebody deciding whether your will exist or not does not mean anything.
Did I choose to be created?
In terms of free will.
Who chose for me to be created?
No, but you weren't the one making the choice in that case. In being created.
I wasn't the one making the choice. Yeah. So there's no free will in creation then.
No, so you didn't exist. So you didn't even have the possibility of having will.
Correct. So, okay. And I think that's what we mean. Because see, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm totally agnostic whether or not there's free will. I'm not arguing about free will. What I'm arguing, though, is if Allah knows the choices I'm going to make and chooses to create me anyway, how is this punishment just?
Because you're the one that's making the choices.
Okay, but he knows the choices I'm going to make, right?
Yeah, which doesn't affect you making the choices.
Could I make any other choice after I'm created? If Allah has perfect knowledge, could I make any other choice but to
we're presupposing that the world, before the choice of him choosing that world, we're talking about all of the possible worlds where humans have free will.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that answers my question.
So your choice is only dependent on your free will.
Okay. Could I make any other choice if Allah's knowledge is perfect of what all my choices are?
Are you asking if you have free will or not?
That's not what I asked. I asked, could I make any other choice if Allah's knowledge of my choices are perfect?
When you say, could you make a choice, it seems like you're doubting whether you have free will or not.
Okay, we're still ducking my question.
No.
I just need a yes or no. If Allah's knowledge of all, Allah knows all of my. Hold on.
I want you to explain what's not clear for me in your question.
Okay.
When you say, could I make this choice? It seems like you're doubting free will. Is it not?
No, I'm not. I am. I'm agnostic towards free will, which implies doubt. Okay. So what I'm asking you though is, you're saying I can make the choice, right? So I can make the choice.
You can make choices.
All right.
Free will.
So I can make choices. So if Allah knows perfectly that I'm going to Walmart tomorrow at 3, can I choose tomorrow to go to Target? It's a yes or no.
Actually, if the question's fallacious, it wouldn't.
It's not a fallacious question. I'm asking you.
I can explain to you how it's fallacious.
Okay, how is it fallacious? So I have a choice between Target and Walmart, right? You would
Yeah.
agree with that. Okay. Okay. So Allah
Yeah.
knows tomorrow at 3 can
No.
hold on. Let me finish.
No. Allah knows your ultimate decision, right?
He knows my ultimate decision. So he knows
Yeah. So
which
if you
okay.
if you decide to make a choice at like tomorrow at 3, he knows what that choice is
Okay.
gonna be, but you made that choice.
Okay. So can I make a choice tomorrow at 2?
Yeah.
If Allah knows I'm only going to make a choice tomorrow at 3, can I make a choice tomorrow at 2?
No. So you're so this
They're
is
not
where
getting it.
this is
He's
this
not
is where
getting it.
your reasoning becomes fallacious.
No,
We've
I
already
disagree.
no, because you're seeing it as in like one predestines, the other chooses.
That's not what I'm
it's
at. No, it's not how I
they
see
go
it.
together.
It's not how I see
No,
it.
that's
There is an array of
how you
possible
phrase your
Hold on.
question.
There's an array of possible choices, right? No, this is what quantum mechanics is about. There's an array of possible choices, right? You'd agree with that, right? I have an array of possible choices.
To a fallacious question, no, there's no choices.
I don't have an array of choices.
No, there's no yes or no to a fallacious question.
There is no yes or no to a fallacious question.
Yeah.
Make
So
that
if
make
you say,
how does that make sense?
If you say, for example, how big is this four-sided triangle?
Yeah, but that's not
right?
what I'm asking.
That question doesn't have an answer.
The answer is there is no such thing as four-sided triangles.
Yeah, so the
Because
answer to your
that's a
question,
contradiction. The
answer to
okay,
your
then
question is there's no such thing as God knowing something that isn't knowing something that's going to for sure happen, but it actually isn't going to for sure happen according to your like.
Okay, so if he knows for sure something's
do I
going to
have this
happen.
choice or not?
Okay, so if he knows for sure something's going to happen, what does that mean?
That you were gonna enact that part of your free will.
No, it means that it's going to happen, right? Regardless of
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
If God knows something that is going to happen, will it happen? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. To what degree, like what certainty percentage will it happen?
100%.
100%. Okay. So then that means that it cannot happen any other way.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that means then if God knows with 100% certainty that I'm going to Walmart at tomorrow at 3,
the same argument.
It's not.
Now we're going in circles.
Okay, but you just said it can. I
already explained.
We're going to put this up on the whiteboard. We got to put this up on the whiteboard because this is okay.
No. You have. Okay, this is the issue.
You're claiming I have an issue.
I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but you have this inability to connect two abstract concepts.
Okay. So what we're saying then, okay, but I would probably, so that means that me and many, many others in chat have this inability to connect these abstract concepts.
It is hard when you're talking about predestination. I mean, I
P1.
don't think it's like, yep.
God knows. Okay, so the first thing we said was God knows.
No. Start with the first example that I gave you. You have all of the possible worlds where humans have free will.
Okay, no, that's not what we're gonna. I'm not asking you to show you a contradiction. I'm asking you to let's just, because I just went over this with you. Okay, God knows. Okay, so God knows with 100% certainty what will happen tomorrow at 3 p.m., right? That true or false?
True.
Okay. And God knows with 100% certainty what will happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., God knows that I will be going to a store. Is that true or false?
I mean, you tell me. You're the one making the argument, right?
Okay. Well, it just follows from P1. God knows with 100% certainty what will happen tomorrow at 3. So at 3 p.m. tomorrow, here, let's change that. God knows 100% that I will be going to the store. So is that true or false?
True.
Okay. So if he knows with 100% certainty that what will happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. tomorrow, God knows 100% that I will be going to the store. God knows 100% that I will be going to Walmart at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Is that true or false?
Just restating premise.
Yeah, I'm
two?
restating. Yeah, well, I'm just expressing it, but he knows tomorrow that I will be going to Walmart, right? Is this true or false? I can choose to go to Target tomorrow at 3. And I do that.
Can you choose to go to Target tomorrow at 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hold on, let me just read what you have on the screen. I'm really just trying to see how premise 2 and 3 are different. Could you explain? It just seems like you just
Yeah, I restated it.
renamed.
I just added that I will be going to Walmart at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So we can just take out P2 if you want.
Okay.
We can just, because I mean, this is just what I've been asking you, and you keep saying it's fallacious. So I need you to point out the fallacy here, because this is exactly what I asked you.
So so the conclusion is fallacious because it operates under a framework where free will is not presupposed.
Okay.
But
Okay, so this
under
isn't
the
how
ex- hold on,
syllogism.
I didn't finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't
Sorry.
finish. Under the example I gave you, however, where we start off with all possible worlds where
Yeah.
humans have free will and
Mhm.
God chooses that is what you should be critiquing if you want to critique the Islamic position.
Well, no, I'm not critiquing anything. I'm trying to understand
Mhm.
from what you're saying how free will works. So,
Sure.
and you know how syllogisms work? Because this is a syllogism.
What's the inference rule here? I don't think
It's not an inference rule. It's a syllogism. So,
no. I
okay.
know when you
Okay, well, the inference rule is that if P1 and P2 are true, then the conclusion is also true. That's how it works. So for example, if you want to disagree with the conclusion, you have to show the fallacy in either P1 or P2. That's what I've been asking you to do. Which premise do you disagree with?
No. So the conclusion doesn't follow from the premises being true.
Okay. So how does it not follow? Well, yeah, of course, because
Yeah.
it's not a true conclusion.
You
Okay, so let me conclude this.
See, that's
I can't go to any other store but Walmart
because
tomorrow
it would contradict
at 3 p.m.
having free will.
Okay, I can't go to any other store but Walmart. But where is anywhere? Why do you have to put the because of free will?
Yeah,
We're not talking about free will. What I'm asking you is,
Mhm.
is the conclusion true? Can I go to any other store but Walmart tomorrow at 3 if P1 and P2 are true?
No.
I cannot, right?
No. Yeah.
Okay, I cannot. So it doesn't say anything in here about my free will. It doesn't say anything in here about choice.
I mean,
All it says
okay,
is this is about God's knowledge, right?
no, when you say I, when you're the subject and you're saying can't, as in like you can't do something, does that imply that you have a choice?
I'm not implying anything about choice. This is about God's knowledge because it says God knows, right? It says God knows here, and it says God knows here.
I'm talking about the conclusion.
Yeah. So there's nothing
It says,
okay.
yeah, so you're the subject there, not God, correct?
Okay. So what you're saying then, because if I have choice, that means that I had a choice between other stores.
Yeah. So
Can
no,
I
that's
choose?
that's
Okay, so can I choose
this
to
this
go to Target tomorrow at 3?
yeah, so this is where the fallacious reasoning comes into play, because if you actually i- if you actually did make the choice to go to Target, then premise 1 and premise 2 would say Target, right? So anytime that you're making the choice, it's actually it's Aldi, it's not Target.
Okay.
Then premise 1 and premise 2 would say Aldi.
Okay.
So it
So,
so it's
but that,
one to one.
okay. But that's
You
not how
making the
these,
choice.
that's
Yeah.
not how syllogisms work, Rizzy. If P1, is P1
No,
true?
I'm
Hold on. Is P1 true? Yes or no?
yes.
Is P2 true? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Is the conclusion true? Yes or no?
No. No.
The conclusion's not true.
No, it's not.
I can't. So I could go to somewhere. Even if P1 and P2 are true, I could.
Hold
I
on,
could go to.
I'm-
I can go to I can go to Target tomorrow because you rejected that 5 minutes ago. Because I had in there, I can go to Target tomorrow at 3, and you said no, you can't.
sorry. I take that back. No, so are we going to Walmart? Sorry. The conclusion's true.
The conclusion is true. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we put, so now if we change that to a premise 3, is it still true?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we put the conclusion in, I can't go to Target tomorrow at 3. Is that true or false?
That's true.
It's true. There we go. Okay. So if we put in another conclusion that says, I can't choose to go to Target tomorrow at 3 p.m., is that true or false?
I can't choose to go to Target tomorrow at 3 p.m. Yeah, because you made the choice to go to Walmart.
Okay, because I made the
It's
choice.
false.
All right, so that's so C2 is false
Yep.
based on
Can't
everything
choose to
you
do
read
s-
here.
You can't choose to do something when you chose to do something else.
Okay, so I can't choose to do something when I chose to do something else. So you're saying that I can't change my mind?
No, after you've already made the choice.
After I've already made the choice, I cannot change my mind.
No, like once you've
Okay.
made a choice and you're already at Walmart.
Oops. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's pause for the kick poll. I don't think you've gotten me any closer, sir. Just saying. It's just not making a lot of sense. All right. So, but it was a good conversation, Rizzy.
I explained it.
Yeah.
In the way I explained it, it's pretty simple. Just state what the contradiction is with the very first thing that I brought up.
Yeah. It doesn't, because it does. I just brought up the syllogism and it doesn't make sense. So if you're saying I can't change my mind after I've made a decision, I mean, people change their minds all the time. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
The syllogism that you brought up
hold the thought.
doesn't.
Hold the thought. Sure. I'll let you talk, but just let me get the kick poll going. Okay, so kick poll is here again. Happy face to keep Rizzy, or crying face to move on to the next guest. Okay, we got 156 guests members here, so in TikTok, and we have quite a few also in YouTube. So let's get those votes out.
I understand I'm a controversial figure, and many atheists might not like me because I deconstruct their beliefs.
You're a nice, upstanding guy.
I'm a good guy, guys. Like
you've been cool to
on
me.
The arguments.
Yeah, you've been cool to me. I don't know if it's anything like personal, because look, they'll tell you. Well, if this makes you feel any better, if you go to my Discord, you'll see my kick poll Hall of Fame. You're not even close. So
cool.
I think they're just ready to move on. That's all.
Yeah, no problem.
Because we've
All right,
had this,
take care, man.
we've had this conversation for like the last hour, so I think they're just ready. So nothing personal.
We'll see.
But hey, come back another time, Rizzy. We'll talk about something else. All right. So yeah, it didn't clear it up at all. It doesn't make sense. Because that's the thing. If God knows perfectly tomorrow at 3, I'm going to Walmart, I cannot go to Target. Just, it doesn't make sense. Boring as fuck, but not an asshole. Yeah. So I'm with you. Rizzy was not an a-hole. Definitely not. Yeah. So it was fine. Behavior and conduct was not an issue at all. Behavior and conduct was not an issue. Okay, we're going to move off this whole free will thing. We're going to have to talk about, we're going to move to why God is just. It worked. Look at that.
Finally.
How you doing, Double E?
Oh my goodness, this day has been.
It has been a day.
Another wild one, but
I know.
yeah,
how many
also
hug
really
emojis
busy.
have we like exchanged in the last like 48 hours?
Oh my gosh, so many, and there's going to be more because there's still things happening.
Oh
but it's being
goodness.
taken care of. It's
Okay.
being taken care of.
All right.
If we're gonna
Holy
we're taking
shit.
care of it.
Holy shit. I am
Yeah.
sorry. I thought things would be like, chill and
Well, it's the other person.
Mm,
So
boy.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Once one person left, the other one started up again. So
Okay.
we're taking care of it. But
Goodness.
anyway,
like
let me
whack-a-mole.
get to my announcement.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trust But Verifies Live. We have 165 people in here. Thank you so much for being here. We are happy to see you.
We are.
In this live, you will mostly experience calm conversations that are about the level of a sweet green pepper, sweet bell pepper, whatever you want, red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper, take your pick. And sometimes the
like all those
spice level
peppers.
will go up to that of a poblano, but we never take it beyond that. We bring it back down to a nice bell pepper level. So if you haven't yet, please send your daily heart me's and do your goals. If you long tap the screen, you'll also see that there's a place to repost the live and share the live more easily. We also get more shares that way because you send it out singularly. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the heart.
Yeah.
You will we'll get more shares that way, and it's sent out more singularly, so we really appreciate that. That helps the algorithm a lot. So let's try and get to, we're at 70,000 likes. I know that we can get to 75 really easily. Let's make a big goal for 100,000. We haven't gotten to 100,000 in a few days, but because we have over 150 people in here, I think we can get to that pretty easily. And let's get to 100 shares. We are at 78 right now. So we need 22 more shares. We do have an early kit goal, like you guys have seen. If we send enough gifts, it will trigger a cake poll, which can come in handy often, depending on the guests that we have. If you are able, Trust also has a subscription on TikTok that you can get, but always remember only to gift or subscribe if you are able. Times are tough. Speaking of subscribing, Trust also has a YouTube and a Twitch account, and he's it is Trust. Sorry, I was gonna say he's looking to get 1,000 subscribers, but you already have 1,000.
We could scratch that out now. That's so funny. That's so great. Yeah.
But the name is Trust But Verify 2024 on both of those platforms, so go ahead and go follow him there. We also have a Discord, and the link is in Trust bio. You will have to copy it and paste it into your web browser in order to actually get there. If you have any problems, just find one of us mods and we'll be happy to help you. And one last mod announcement, please no preaching, praying for non-believers, or being rude in chat. Please don't use caps lock either, because it's how we communicate as mods to Trust and to the chat. I know it's hard sometimes with the guests we have, but we appreciate your help in keeping the chat clear. Once again, welcome to Trust But Verifies Live. We are happy to see you.
Yay! And give them some W's for doing such an outstanding job. And they could probably use a little bit of extra because Discord's been extra this week. Not gonna lie.
Very extra. We're taking care of it, but
you're on it. You guys are doing a fantastic job. So thank you.
Let's just say it's a good thing I'm not working right now.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's just been that time. So I appreciate all your effort.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. I will drop down.
All right. Right on, Double E. That was the fabulous fantabulous, fantastic ethereal ember. So please thank them. W's, all that kind of stuff. So they're pretty awesome. They're great. All right. Yeah, W chat. So chat's great. Mods are great. Both chats are great. And not to mention, you know what, even the Twitch chat is pretty cool too. But I only got one message in there, so I just answered it. But I think I ignored it for a long time, so they might not even be there anymore. So, but it's hard because I don't get a lot of action on Twitch, and I just forget to check it, you know, because I want to keep my focus on where people are. That makes sense. So that's what I want to do. And here, let's do this. We're going to invite one more friend up real quick because he's probably on break. And so I want to give him a minute or two to make me laugh and make all of us laugh. And also, we can probably look at some super chats. So the gentleman and the scholar, Lobes the Absurdist. How you doing?
All right, so you want some jokes, I guess.
Don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh boy, why did the chicken cross the road? Okay, why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know. I was hoping you would know. That's all.
Okay, that's all he's got. Right on. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. Oh goodness. Okay, Astro London, thank you. Okay. I think I got one person in Twitch right now. So but thank you. Yeah. So if Twitch starts to get bigger, yeah. Definitely have you on there. I was considering doing games, you know, playing a game while I like talk, but I don't know if I have like the brain capacity to do that at once. It would have to be like a very, very casual game, you know, something maybe like a builder game, you know, running from the kernel, chicken of the gaps. You can mod Twitch. Okay. It's good to know. All right. So maybe that would bring more people to Twitch, but man, I've got my hands full right now as it is with like YouTube and TikTok. So we'll see, but thank you. Don't do that, Trust. Yeah. See, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. And that just seems too, I don't know, you know, I don't know. I don't know if anybody would, I just don't know. I don't think that's it, but okay. So I don't think we're going to get into the weeds about free will anymore. I think we've kind of taken that as far as we can go. But I want to get back to what's your best evidence that God is just. So if you just joined my guest queue, I've got 4 waiting. Please be at least 18, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And also, please have evidence that your God is just. So, all right. So Ratched, I don't know how to say this name, so I'm just going to say, how's it going? That's all I'm going to say. How's it going?
Hello. I'm good, thanks.
Good. All right. Well, thanks for waiting. Appreciate your patience. How old are you?
I am 39.
29? Okay.
No, 39.
39. Okay, gotcha. Well, you're way over 18, so it's all good. Okay. And which God do you believe in?
I actually recently stopped believing in God. So.
Oh, you stopped believing. Okay. Well, the space is reserved for folks who do believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran. So I'm going to redirect you to my Discord. But I'll give you a quick question. Do you have a quick question?
Yeah, actually, it was just to complete on the guy that came before.
All right.
And
I'll give you a quick statement. Yeah.
Yeah. Since I was like ex-Muslim, and actually in Islam, it says that before you're even born, God knows that you will go already to heaven or hell. So
that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Then how can you turn around and say, but you have a choice? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You know what? I really would invite you to come to my Discord because there is a Muslim in there who wholly believes that, and you could go back and forth with him all day if you want to.
Okay.
So,
See you there.
yeah. So it's in my profile page. So go ahead and check it out. And then remember to copy and paste the link outside of TikTok because you'll have problems joining. So,
Okay. Thank you very much for your job illuminating people, because we need to get out of this. Like, I get my life back when I went out of
That's
religion in
fantastic.
general. I'm not talking about Islam, or like I'm talking about religions in general, like the fear you live in. Like I see life positively. I'm not waiting for afterlife or all these things. I live here now. There's only one. This is an amazing experience, and I want to take the most of it. So that's
I'm with you, friend. I'm with you. Yeah. My life improved by like magnitudes after realizing I don't believe in any gods anymore. Yeah, I'm with you.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing you in the Discord.
See you there.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Yes,
all right. So, but yeah, when it just says in the Quran that Allah just controls everything and has all you to predestined, you can't then turn around and say, but you have free will. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm just saying. So I think I got to be honest. I think even then it's not that great of an argument, but I think the Christian, I think the Christians have a better hold on free will than the Muslims do. I got to be honest. Because it doesn't explicitly say, although it kind of does in the Bible, but I mean, it is clear in the Quran. It is like absolutely like 100% clear. And that's just the thing. It's like, hey, I'm open and listening to it, but I mean, if it says what it says, then, what are you going to do about that? So, multi-dimensional time. Yeah, I don't see how that changes anything, to be honest with you. I mean, that's possible, but I mean, if God knows, because it's kind of like quantum mechanics, right? Because like quantum mechanics, you can calculate the probability of the superposition of an object. And a superposition is all the possible positions it'll be in. So that's like multi-dimensional time. That's like saying that, Allah knows like every possible choice you're going to make, right? Except with quantum mechanics, you can calculate the probability, but see, according to the Quran, Allah knows what the position of this particle is. He knows exactly what it is. But see, when you calculate the probability of the superposition using the Schrodinger equation, the entire wave function collapses and it just ends up in the position that it's supposed to be in. That's what happens, right? And that's how you calculate it. But see, Allah's already done that. If you think about it, he's already done that calculation. He already knows what it is. But see, that's the thing. When the wave function collapses and the particle is in its position, it cannot be in any other position. No chance. Once you've calculated it, it's there. And it's the same with your choices. So like, again, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. So anyway, that's just how it is. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. Like we have Triple J 999 who's up next. Let's bring him up. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, good. Thanks for waiting. How old are you?
Yeah, no problem. I am going to be 51 January 12th.
Happy birthday.
Oh, God. It doesn't seem real, man. 51. It doesn't seem real. I don't live like I'm 51.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. That's great. So which God do you believe in, Triple J?
There's only one God, brother.
All right. Which one is that? The God of the Bible, Torah,
Jesus.
Quran?
Jesus is God.
There it is. Okay. Fantastic. All right. And then what's your best evidence that this God is just?
Okay, so I'm going to do story time. You guys stop me at any point if you have questions, okay?
Okay. I'm going to give you like about a minute. So just try to land the plane.
I'll do it this way. I was an atheist for 35 years.
Okay.
God actually entered my mind, told me I had to leave the house at 7 o'clock. I did. My mom was in need of help. I went. I drove 3.5 hours to my mom. I ended up in a hospital shortly thereafter. In the hospital, some guy I'd never met came up to me and dropped a Bible in front of my face, and he opened it to Job. I'd never read Job before. I never knew what it was. So I started reading Job, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know about God. I didn't know what the hell was happening. Long story short, I spent the next, so I was 35. I spent the next 20, is that right? I'm not great at math. 16 years trying to understand what God was, if God is real, blah, blah, blah. And what ended up happening is I changed my life. I went from being a complete liar, thief, person that was just did all the sins, all the girls. I was a former semi-professional athlete. I had everything. My grandpa was a multimillionaire. I never needed or wanted for anything, but I lived a bad life. And at the end of every door I ever went down, there was nothing.
Okay.
I was not happy. There was nothing there. So when I started up on a path of truth, I started telling the truth. I told everyone the truth of what I'd done. I just told the truth literally, and I started walking the truth, and God started revealing things to me that changed my entire life. I saw the world that I'd never seen before. He showed me, I don't know how to describe it. He showed me himself through
let me jump in
the rest of my years.
All right. I've given you like way more than a minute, but okay. Yeah. I think I get the gist of it, Triple J. So
yeah, I'll answer questions.
Okay.
Now.
What I'm trying to understand is how does your experience that, as you've laid it out before us, how does that demonstrate that God is just?
How does it demonstrate he's just? Because I did all the bad things for 35 years, all of them except for murder, all of them.
Murder, okay.
And he looked past my sin because he knew I still had a faithful heart, even though I wasn't faithful in a way that people would reflect on Christ. But when I did change my ways, he changed the game for me completely.
So let me ask you this, because it sounds like what you're saying is, hey, I did all these bad deeds, I committed all these sins.
Yep.
And so then and God was willing to look past all that. And
right, because that's what he died on the cross for.
Okay, what's exactly the reason he looked past it? Why did he do that?
He looked past it because he got on the cross for everyone. That was his free will choice. God made a choice to come down from heaven, die on the cross, so that he could not see our sin, so that he could see us as what he created us to be.
Okay, so he made the free will choice to take the punishment for all of us, right?
That's right.
Okay, and would you say he was guilty or innocent when he did that?
Guilty of what?
Anything.
Well, no, I wouldn't say he was guilty of anything.
So he was
God,
totally
innocent.
innocent.
Is perfect.
Okay, so God is perfect.
I would say God is innocent and perfect. Yeah,
God's totally innocent, and he volunteered to take our punishment for us, right?
That's right.
Whose punishment? Who was gonna give the punishment to us?
What do you mean?
Well, who would we get the punishment from? Like someone was going to give us the punishment, right?
The vengeance comes from God, so he came down to protect us from himself.
Okay, so God.
Yes.
Okay, so God sent himself to sacrifice himself to himself, right?
Yes.
To save us from himself.
I know it sounds fucking bizarre, but
it's fucking bizarre.
Yes, I agree.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I ain't saying it makes sense.
Makes no sense.
I'm just, but that's
hey,
what
but
he
at least you're saying it sounds fucking bizarre. At least you're saying that. Okay,
it is fucking bizarre.
It is bizarre. It's weird.
Absolutely bizarre.
It's really weird. Okay,
I wouldn't do it.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this then, because if God is all powerful, right? God's all powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he takes this punishment for us. And really,
okay, but there's a reason why he had.
Oh, your sound changed.
There's a reason. Yeah, sorry, I took my headphones off.
Okay,
there's a reason why he had to do it is because of what Satan did in the garden. Satan made a free will choice in the garden that put the knowledge of good and evil in every human. Had that never happened, we'd have never had the situation that we're in.
Why isn't Satan taking the ass whipping? Why are we taking the ass whipping?
He's going to be chained to a lake of fire for 1,000 years. Believe me.
Yeah, but Triple J,
bigger problems.
We're the victim here, right? We're the victim. He tricked us, and we're getting punished for it.
I wouldn't say he tricked us. I mean, he is tricky, but Eve took the bait, and Adam.
Well, not really. He told the truth,
Adam didn't help her.
Okay. Well, all right, let me ask it this way, because
Yeah.
I think this is the part, because I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's fucking bizarre, right? That's
Okay.
you hit the nail on the head, and this is why, because like when I was a Christian for over 30 years. See, this is the interesting
Okay.
thing. You and I
So
actually
we went in the reverse.
we went into reverse, and see, and the
There.
other part of it is that when I realized I wasn't a believer, my
Yep.
life improved significantly, like
Yep.
significantly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's literally
How
opposite.
so? How so?
Well, for one thing, I gained a whole bunch more empathy. And
Okay.
so I was actually, like, the things I was supposed to be doing as a Christian, I was actually
Yeah.
doing as a non-Christian, as a non-believer, like, helping people, being
Okay.
understanding of people, trying to,
Okay.
just being compassionate and things of that sort. When I
So you're
was,
telling me you walk like Christ
when
and
I
then
was,
wonder why your life is great? It doesn't, you
oh,
know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
wondering. I know why my life is great. I know why.
Okay, so you're a good person, but if you were to go out and act super sinful and be really bad, believe me, you'd wake up to the fact that
I think that's what I'm
you
getting
got
at.
problems.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, Triple J. Is like I was
Okay.
like Christian in the front, all business,
Yeah.
and then party in the back.
Oh yeah, well there's
Okay, you
lots
see
of
what I
those.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of those.
And I fully admit it. But the other part of it is there was a point in time where I was actually, like, I was going to go into the priesthood. I was like straight up and down. I was
Yeah, okay.
this and that, right? So there was that point in time too. So I've actually lived like kind of a couple of different ways as a
Yeah, I get it.
believer. All right. And so, and I think the reason why was because I was just trying to make sense of this belief, and I was having, like, it just wasn't adding up for me. And so I
Yeah,
just kept
fair.
trying to make it add up, and it just wasn't adding up. And yeah. And so it was just me, like,
But what
coping.
didn't add up specifically?
Oh, a lot of it. Well, just like what we just went over, the fucking bizarre part of it,
Okay, yeah.
the part about, like, this part about justice, right? So let me kind of take you through my thought process here.
Sure.
So, you've read the entire Bible, like,
Cover to cover twice, and I'm on my third way through.
Okay, fantastic. So you know a lot about this. So
Yeah, I know it.
okay, so and this kind of brings in the whole crucifixion too. But under what circumstance is it acceptable? Like, what moral principle justifies punishing people for others' crimes and or sins? Like, what moral principle is that?
Okay, there is a way of explaining this because God,
Oh,
okay,
there's always a way
what
to explain it. Yeah, you're right.
what we see as punishment, what we feel as pain, right, is not the same as what God sees. God is patient. God will let you go through it to get to it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
suffering is the way there.
Okay.
And a lot of people can't understand that
Mhm.
aspect. But if you are willing to go through it, you will get to it if you are honest.
Okay.
If you walk a path, right?
Okay. Now, is all suffering necessary?
Is all suffering necessary? It depends on what you free will choose, right? You're not going to suffer if you walk like Christ, if you're a good person. If
Okay.
you do like what you say, like acts of service, you will not suffer. If you go out there like I did and cause a ruckus and lie to everybody and cheat on your buddy's girlfriend and do all the wrong
Mhm.
things, then you are going to suffer. Yes,
Okay.
you're going to suffer because
Got it.
there's only one way back.
Okay.
And that is through suffering.
And
when
you're saying
lost.
all suffering in our world, all of it is necessary.
No. See, the thing is, people choose to do things, and God doesn't stop them.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a level of fuck upness about it because the world is fucked right now. Let's
Okay.
be real. Like, there's wars everywhere. There's
Yeah.
people starving everywhere. There's people homeless everywhere. It's not good.
Okay. So let me take you through an example of suffering, and we'll just see
Yeah.
if it's necessary or not. So, just imagine that lightning strikes in the forest, just randomly
Yeah.
in the forest, right?
Okay.
Starts a forest fire, and it surrounds a baby fawn that's lying in the forest. Because you know what fawns do, right? The mother takes
Yeah.
them to a spot, they lie there, and they wait for the
Yeah.
mother to come back. Mother
Right.
leaves, and leaves this fawn there, but in the midst, a lightning strike hits the forest, and
Yeah.
and it surrounds the fawn, and so there's no
Yeah.
way this fawn will escape the fire, and so it's going to suffer a pretty horrible death because
Right.
it'll be smoke inhalation, it's gonna get burned, all that stuff. So is that necessary?
Okay, so here's the thing. Life and death to humans is perception based. That fawn that dies and goes through it is instantly back with God, and likely while it's burning doesn't feel a thing, protected by God.
Right.
Now I know that might not make sense, but have you ever gone through something? Have you ever witnessed where there's a car accident and a human lifts a car up off of someone with superhuman strength, or just someone says, they died and they come back and they didn't feel a thing, or whatever. There's a million stories about a million people in a million situations.
Okay, well let me pull it back to this fawn. So what's the justification for it? Because you'd agree that the lightning strike, that's from God, right? Lightning strikes?
I wouldn't necessarily agree that it's from God.
It's from humans?
The earth has natural processes. Yes, I guess we could drive it back to God.
Who created those natural
God created
processes?
everything.
Yeah.
So ultimately, yeah, I'll give you that. I'll say, okay. That fawn
because
died.
you could agree that God could have just made lightning strike like at a mountain where it's totally harmless, right?
I will say this. I don't believe God targeted that fawn.
No, I didn't say he did. I'm just saying that he could have set up the world where lightning strikes just strike like at the top of a mountain or in an empty field where it just doesn't do any type of cause any type of problems.
Suffer.
Yeah. You don't think the fawn suffers?
I don't believe that the fawn suffers.
Okay. Even though it will burn, have smoke inhalation, all that stuff. How does it not suffer?
I could be wrong on that. But the God that I know that's lifted me out protects me at all costs.
Okay. Well, he protects you, but not this fawn, and I'm trying to understand.
No, I mean, I went through it. I went through the pain and suffering.
Well, he's protecting you now, right?
But okay, it's a bit of an abstract thing you're pulling out. I mean, mostly what we're talking about is humanity and their suffering. As far as it relates to the acts like that, like the lightning in the middle of nowhere, I couldn't specifically give you an honest answer.
You'd agree the fawn suffers though, right? Because this fawn is on God's earth, right?
Yes.
God created this fawn. God created all creation. This fawn does suffer. You'd agree with that, right?
My belief is that God would protect that fawn from pain.
And how do we know that?
We don't know it.
We don't know it. It's just your belief. So it's kind of
that's
a vibe.
My belief.
Okay.
That's a belief on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from all the data we have, we have a really good idea that this fawn will suffer. And so what I'm trying to understand.
I mean, neither of us could prove our point on this one.
I could. I have more evidence.
How could you prove it?
Well, because
you're not the fawn. You have to be the fawn to prove
we know that fawns, like all animals, have nerve endings, right? And that fire hurts.
But God has the power. We're talking about God. He has the power to do whatever he wants at any time with whatever.
Okay, so what's more likely? If you turned on the burner at your stove and you stuck your hand in there, what's more likely, that you'll burn or that God will protect it?
Well, dude, I'm choosing to stick my hand in it.
Sure.
God's going to let me burn.
Okay.
What am I?
Let's imagine.
Protect you for being stupid.
Okay, well, let's imagine you have a cat and you turn on the burner and your cat jumps onto the stove. What's more likely? Will the cat be protected or will it get burned?
Cat's going to learn not to jump on a stove, I imagine.
Will learn, right? Well, I'm just saying,
like a baby does, or anybody.
But the cat doesn't know any better, right? Doesn't know any better. So
it depends on where the cat's upbringing was. Maybe the cat's an asshole. Maybe he's got a bad attitude.
Okay, all right. But
I mean, there are cats that are good cats, just like there are cats that are good people that are good people. They're bad cats too.
So
maybe the cat
does that extend to the fawn? Like if it's a good fawn or a bad fawn, if it's an evil fawn or a good fawn?
Know that there's innocent animals. We're talking about wild animals versus domesticated, aren't we?
Right. I'm trying to understand though. If we don't have evidence that, because you're saying, well, I believe that God will protect this fawn.
Yeah.
But we don't have any evidence of that.
I mean, we're getting hung up on the fawn.
That's the example I gave. I know. And that's why I'm trying to keep you there.
I get that that's what you're hanging on to.
Yeah.
But if that's the whole basis for you,
it's not the whole basis. That's just a piece of it.
Let's move to a different basis because you proved your point about the fawn. I don't know.
Perfect.
I can't prove it, but my belief is that the fawn is protected.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So if we kind of extend that to let's just look at another piece of suffering here. So under what circumstances justifies okay, now actually here, let me throw it to you this way, Triple J.
Your chat's giving me a hard time, but I can take it. I can take
I
it.
can
Don't
understand.
worry.
I mean, that's
I could take it.
yeah.
I know.
All right.
It sounds like a lot of horse shit. I understand that.
Well, I'm just saying. Now, if
Listen,
okay.
I came from atheism 35 years. So
Okay. Now, if you
I could preach to your choir.
okay, all right, Triple J. If you let's just imagine you're at somebody's house. I don't know whose it is, but you're at somebody's house and you're looking for the bathroom and you went into the wrong door and you walked in and you saw an adult graping a child.
Okay.
Would you stop that grape?
I would probably kill the person.
And you would unalive the
go to
person.
jail.
All right.
I probably would.
At that moment, right?
Yeah, I probably would.
At
Or
that-
I'd put him in the hospital at the very least. I used to be a bouncer.
Okay. At that moment, would God do it?
What do you mean? Would God do it? Would God do what I did?
Yeah.
No, God lets people do their fault.
Okay. Between you and God, who did the right thing?
Between free will is free will. That's the only way I could say it.
Okay.
God lets people do what they're gonna do.
Okay.
Now this takes us back to the fawn. My belief is that God protects.
Oh no, we're off the
getting
fawn,
raped.
friend. We're off the fawn. Remember, you
I
said
know,
you wanted to
but-
move off the fawn. You can't go back to the fawn.
All I'm saying is I believe that there's an element of protection
All
for
right.
any innocent that experiences suffering.
There's an element of protection.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the little's free will? Do you think the little
What about
chose
the what?
the little kid's free will?
Well, they didn't choose that, obviously.
They didn't choose it. So why does God prioritize the attacker's free will over the child's?
He doesn't.
He doesn't?
No.
Okay. But you would agree that the
It's an
child
event
didn't
in time.
Okay, but the child didn't choose that, right?
No, the child did not choose it.
Didn't choose it. And so if the child didn't choose it, then wanted it to stop, well, why wouldn't it stop? Because it's free will, right?
That yes, but that there's a power situation in that situation.
Got it.
Right?
Hold that thought. We got a early kick pull, Triple J. I'll let you finish your thought here. Just hang tight. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. So we have a kick poll that's early, that was invoked early. So we have we're gonna do our vote now. So happy face to keep Triple J or crying face to move on. So
Let's see.
all right,
Roll
let's
the
see.
dice. I'm pretty sure from the comments they don't love me, but I got love for them though.
Okay.
I got
well,
love for everybody in the
well,
chat.
I think that okay, so what were you gonna say? You got about 45 seconds.
I was just saying that in that situation, obviously the person that's doing the graping has the power.
Okay.
But my faith tells me that God is protecting that innocent person, takes their mind outside their mind so that they don't experience it in a way. A lot of people say they go through shit like that, they black out. Don't remember it.
Well, we have evidence that doesn't happen in a lot of cases. So what about the ones where the kids do remember it? What about the ones who carry the trauma? Like me, I carried the trauma for a long time.
Yeah, I carry the trauma too. My mom died in my arms when I was 47, so
Okay.
I carry some trauma too.
Yeah. So why wasn't God protecting me then in that case when that happened to me?
I'm of the belief that what Satan did put this all into the washing machine and we're all in the spin cycle. Okay? That's my belief. And that God never intended us to go through this way.
Okay.
But that this is a season in time that we all have to go through and it'll be over when it's over. I don't know when it's over. I'm not one of these people going to tell you this is going to happen this time, this, that. I have no idea.
All right.
But I do have the faith that this is all just a season and we'll all be in a different place, a better place. And I'm not this heaven, hell, whatever person. That's just a state of mind.
Okay, Jay. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming up. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're going to move
Okay.
on. All right. Have a good one.
Okay. Cheers.
All right. So sounds nice, sound pleasant, but yes, do appreciate the honesty. However, yeah, I think that's the thing is that I don't find it just that God would prioritize the perpetrator's free will over the child's. That doesn't sound like justice to me. That doesn't sound very just to me. And he did say it's a power dynamic. It's a question of power. So that means that power takes precedent over what's right and wrong. And that's pretty horrible. That doesn't sound very just to me. Just saying. All right, let's go take a look and see if any new super chats have come in. Nope, we're still at the same, but that's okay. I just want to stay on top of the super chat, so that's all it is. But if you'd like your comment read, throw in a super chat on YouTube, and then I will read your comment. But yeah, I mean, if he's saying that God protects the little kids, he didn't protect me. I know that for a fact. He didn't protect me when that happened to me. There was no protection on me, and had to carry that for a long, long time. And, you know, and for those in chat, who are still carrying it, I feel for you, and my heart goes out to you. And so I know it's hard to hear when somebody says something like that. Yeah, thanks for the hugs, everybody. But yeah, all the ones who, we should just do one big group hug. 135 of us on the TikTok side, and how many on the YouTube side? 52 on the YouTube side. We should just all do a big group hug for those that were traumatized. Because, yeah, because it's a thing, man. And I can guarantee you a lot of us didn't feel that protection. Yeah. So just doesn't add up. And so when he asked me, well, hey, you know, why aren't you a believer anymore? Well, it's things like that. It's things like that. All right, let's go to the next one. So if you are in my queue, please be at least 18, believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. I'm with you, Fluffy Dragon Pants, with you. Neither was I. And also, please have evidence that your God is just. So, all right, let's move on to Dakota. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Really good.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Thanks for waiting.
Awesome.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, fantastic. And which God do you believe in?
So I believe in the one from the Bible. I think that you can read probably all those scriptures and still get it.
Okay.
For the most part.
All right. And then what's your best evidence that this God is just?
So is the idea that you're trying to like say just or unjust? Is it like a dualistic perspective of justice that you see, or is there a third perspective?
I don't know what the third perspective would be. I'm all ears.
Well, I don't
maybe
argue
neither just nor unjust, just neutral.
Yeah, indifferent or
God
not doing
indifferent?
anything, nothingness.
Okay.
Yeah, resting.
All right.
Could vote for that, right?
Okay. So is that what your position is? He's neither just nor unjust, and
well, yeah. So the universe is not dualistic, and so trying to put things into a duality just creates ignorance and division.
Okay.
Now,
and
so the universe is more triune.
Okay.
Sorry,
now you could just a point of clarification, because you could still ask the question whether or not God is just, right? Even if in a triune or a spectrum universe, you could still ask that, right?
Oh yeah, you could definitely ask.
Fantastic.
It, but then
Okay.
It just shows that you're still like within a duality.
Okay. But then then nothing would mean anything, right? Because meanings, it could be this, it could be that, it could be, like, how do you deal with red lights, Dakota?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean?
Stop at red lights.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how do you?
Well, I'm in Houston, so I actually kind of go through them most of the time.
Right, well, I didn't want you telling on yourself, man. No, man, I didn't mean that. I'm just.
No, it's humility.
Okay.
It's not telling.
I know. I'm just messing with you. But what I'm trying to understand, though, is that, like, if you're saying, well, it's a duality and we can't look at dualities, well, you would agree that if the light's either red or it's not red, right? So that's a form of duality, right? I mean, there's different spectrums to it, because there's red, there's green, there's yellow,
Yeah. And that just depends on like what we're talking about, right? As far as perceivable science goes, it usually falls into a duality. But as far as like reality goes, we know that that's not true. It's sort of like jumbling into like quantum physics, metaphysics.
Yeah, I don't think
like
I don't think I'm saying
But as
either
far
he's just
as-
or not just. I'm just asking if he's just. That's it.
I would say probably.
Probably he's just. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
And I would even almost say it's unfair what he did.
That's fair.
As far as it goes, I would say it's completely unfair.
Okay. What evidence do you have that he is just, or he might be just, probably is just?
Yeah. So the lessons about humility and the opportunity for everybody to be gifted eternal life, as well as all information, I believe is a very just thing to do, and not holding on to like an egotistical stance where nobody is able to earn a part of that. I would say is the most just, and most loving.
Okay. How is eternal life a gift?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Not everybody wants it. So it's not a gift for everybody. It's only a gift if you want it.
Okay.
Right. And
but that entails it's a gift, right? So what I'm asking you is, for those who want it, why is it a gift? How is it a gift?
For me, right, I would say, and I can really only speak for myself as I don't know other people's intentions, but for me, eternal life would give me the opportunity to experience all walks of life and to be a pebble on the road that gets ran over 1,000,000 times a day, or I could be a leaf next to a volcano and get to watch how that works. So it kind of gives different perspectives as far as that goes. But I also think that it's just a part of the destruction of ego that then gets to understand what self is continuously, not necessarily just becoming a part of the eternal source.
Okay. And so I'm trying to understand, though, how is this gift, as you put it, how is this just? If we look at the word just, how is it just?
So if it was restricted to nobody could have it, or if it was restricted to only who I say can have it has it, that's explicitly different. But instead, he gives us the opportunity to choose either if we have it or if we don't. And that, to me, is where the justice comes in.
Why not just give it to everybody, regardless of choice? If it's that good.
Then there would be, yeah, I totally understand that. Unfortunately, we live in a world where there's a lot of calamity, right? Humans have this innate ability when it comes to consciousness, experiencing time. They grow. They can either grow more hateful or more loving. I don't believe that the ego learns to love the way that we just are naturally programmed to. And I believe most people learn to hate. And that's where a majority of like our division and everything genuinely comes from. It's always your choice. You have the information, you have the knowledge to choose. But it's the hypocrisy or the lies that the common synagogues will teach that have made you stray away from that truth.
I'm not sure that answers my question, because I'm trying to understand. Well, do you remember my question?
Not all the way.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
All right, that's fair. My question was, why not just give it to everybody? If this is such a good thing, just give it. Like, for example.
Yeah, the world is evil.
Okay.
That was the first thing I said.
The world is evil. Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of calamity.
All right.
That's what people have learned to then become more like.
Okay. And is God?
So
God's all knowing, right? Yeah, God's all knowing.
It depends on what you're speaking of, right? Because if we look at like the creature that was walking around in the garden, that would be immediately taken out when he walks into the garden and asks a question. That proves not all knowing. And then depending on who you believe or what you believe Christ is, he says nobody knows the day nor the hour, only the Father. And so he would also not be all knowing. So it depends on, what you're explaining. Right? Well, I would say,
it does say in the Bible, right?
Maybe.
Sure. Well, it does. Yeah. We can.
I would have to read the scripture to see that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can look it up here real quick. But yeah, it does say he's all knowing. I have to go to my list here.
Yeah. And then God also says he's the creator of all good and all evil.
Yeah. It does say that in Isaiah 45:7. That part I know.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to understand, So what I'm trying to understand is if God's all knowing and God is, Okay, so I got to say that this spreadsheet is just like totally out of hand. It's just out of whack. So, I've added so much stuff to this, I can't even find stuff anymore. So it's just the part where it's
I think
okay.
F3 should help you search.
Yeah, it should, but it doesn't really because I didn't use like a consistent convention, and it's just yeah. So I have another one that I'm gonna have to use Justin's here because there we go. There's a nice little list here. Okay, so if we're looking at whether or not God's all knowing, right? And okay, so if we look at I got it right here. Cool. All right, give me just a second here, Dakota.
Sure. Take your time, please.
Thanks. Appreciate that. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, it's almost fixed. Give me just a second. I just got to do a little bit of housekeeping here. I think that's good enough. Yeah. Can you kind of see that? I may have to, here, let me clean it up on this side.
What verse is it? I can pull it up.
We're going to start with 1 John chapter 3, verse 20. So first letter of John.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
I see it right here on my side.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Almost. Hold on, Chad. I'll get it right. Thanks for waiting. Okay. There we go. All right. We can barely see it. Good enough. Okay. So 1 John 3:20. Whenever our heart condemns us, God is greater than our hearts and he knows everything. 1 John chapter 3, verse 20.
Yeah.
Mark chapter 12,
100%.
verse 6. He still had one other, a beloved son. Finally, he sent to them saying, they will respect my son. So that's him telling the future. So he knows that part. But that doesn't necessarily say he knows everything, but there's more.
Yeah. And that's why I said too, like when we said that, right, what is God and how would we define that? Because if we claimed it was Yah, or if we claimed it was only Yeshua, I believe that's like a half truth.
Yeah.
Not the full truth. Right.
Okay.
And so for me, when I say God, I think the Holy Spirit, and I would say yes, 100%. But the egos, which have interacted within Scripture, I don't necessarily subscribe to that.
Is the Bible 100% true then?
I would say yeah. I would just say that usually most people are indoctrinated with a belief before they read it.
Okay.
Instead of having a sober mind, they go into it with preconceived notions.
Okay. So we can look at Proverbs 15, verse 3, where it says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good.
Yeah.
Yep. Jeremiah 16, verse 17, my eyes are on all their ways. They are not hidden from my presence, nor is their iniquity concealed from my sight.
Perfect.
Matthew 6. Yeah. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Yeah. Acts 1, verse 24. Then they prayed and said, Lord, you know everyone's heart. Show us which one of these two you have chosen. So it says it all over the Bible. I mean, if you believe the Bible's 100% true.
Isn't it interesting too that in Scripture it says that the Lord doesn't look at sinners, nor will he hear them?
Yeah.
And so isn't that a contradiction to those points?
Sure. Well, then it's not all true then, right? Because contradictions aren't true.
Well, no, there are contradictions to most people's beliefs and the cherry picks that they do. But that kind of steps into like, the common beliefs versus like what I believe. As far as like my belief goes, right? I am a post-scripture believer, meaning I think everything that's written is done, come to fruition, and currently in the past, including the Sky Daddy event and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's done for.
Preterist?
I think that's what some people claim it as, but even they don't like me, so I want to claim that.
Okay, got it.
I just don't claim that Jesus lies, and that's what most Christians and Jews believe.
I gotcha. So that being the case, then, and then that being the case, now I'm just trying to understand then how do you derive your understanding of God then? Because if the Bible is, some parts are sus, or you're saying, hey, people believe what they want to believe, all that. Well, couldn't we say the same about you though?
Oh, 1,000,000%, yeah. And
All
so
right.
there's a difference when it comes to continuity of the same ideas, and the humility of understanding all scripture, than compared to the egos that usually Christians, which I assume normally run into,
Yeah.
lie about and or spread truths that aren't there. Same with like probably how they get upset when they claim that the Lord is in control of all calamity and all peace. Most people don't grasp what that
Yeah.
actually means, and that's why I said earlier about like the triune nature. And so it wasn't until I completely deconstructed and understood that everything was made out of parts of three, that I really was able to pick up on understanding other people's perspectives, as
Mhm.
well as understanding scripture's perspectives. And so I
Okay.
started at the beginning of time, but also finished time all in the same book. And so for me, I just stuck to one author, and that one author remains so consistent that then when you start reading the other books, things kind of just fall out of place because they're just ignorant human indoctrination, not the words that we actually need to be following.
Okay.
So if you're asking where to start, I'd recommend the book of John. And that's really it.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I've read the Bible in its entirety, like many, many, many times. So what I'm trying to understand is because it sounds like you picked out like what was most congruent with what you felt or what you believed. Like, how did you know to start with John? Or how did you decide to pick John as, okay, that's the one?
Yeah. My grandma passed away last year or whatever. And
Sorry to hear
she
that.
just asked that. Oh, I'm not worried about it, but thank you. It's just a part of life. It's a promise from Jesus. But, she asked that we all read the book of John. I started trying to read it over the course of like 6 months, and I literally only got through like 6 chapters. It was so bad. And that was me trying to read a New World Translation, and something about it just felt fake. I couldn't get myself to understand or get myself to understand that truth or feel that connection. And then I talked to an Islamic person. They explained to me the differences between transliterations and the different versions of the Bibles. And I was like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. And so then I decided to delve into the original Greek and Hebrew. And so when I started going into the original Greek and Hebrew, I started seeing things that contradict what most humans claim, but stayed 100% consistent with what Christ claims, as well as the vocabulary that's used. And so there's nothing that steps out of the lines. Even Jesus claiming that you should hate your life, I solely believe that's truth, in order to earn eternal life. But if you don't want to hate your life, that's not necessary.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't hate my life. I don't want to hate I don't want to hate my life. Right.
And that's okay. Right.
Yeah. And I think because what I'm trying to understand then is if we kind of go all the way back to what this original topic's about, because we've been talking a lot about like whether or not it's true. Now in your view, is God in control of suffering at all?
God is the creator of everything, so he's in control of all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
He's in control of all of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what and so is there any preventable suffering in God's world?
See, I don't know about that, right? As far as like preventable goes, I think everybody suffers differently. For example, some people suffer with eating too much, so they would suffer if they didn't eat, but other people don't eat too much, so then when they don't eat, it's not suffering.
Okay.
It just depends on the duality that you create, right? If
Okay.
it's suffering and non-suffering, then again, you're going to be stuck in duality, and something's always going to run to the good and evil or the good and bad, but that's still not true. It's a half truth.
Okay. Well, one of the previous guests, we talked about the fawn in the forest, in the middle of a forest fire. So if the lightning strikes the forest, starts a forest fire, surrounds the fawn with fire and smoke, would you say that fawn's going to suffer or would suffer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably. I
And
mean,
is that-
smoke inhalation and everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that necessary?
It's just a part of what happens.
Right.
As far as like necessity, or what would the opposite of necessity be? in your situation?
Not necessary.
Okay, so that duality, right, unfortunately is just a half truth. If something is necessary or not necessary, currently in our new age, that's not true. There's no such thing as a divine intervention nor divine hatred.
Okay.
And so the suffering again is just a dualistic perspective. If you're in heaven nor hell, right? That's just a dualistic perspective. It's not truth.
What's the purpose of the fond suffering then? Because there has to be a purpose for it, right?
Yeah, the purpose right now is obviously so you can try to make a statement. That's the only purpose that this story has been made for, right?
Me making a statement?
As far as we're trying to make an argumentative point, of course, but the actual purpose of perishing is just a part of life. To live is to unalive or perish, and vice versa.
Okay.
That's unfortunately a written rule of our universe.
Okay. But God is in control of the way we perish, right?
Possibly.
I
would say probably, yeah. I have no hopes necessarily to like worry about that. I'd rather be one of the people that heaven opens up for.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is if God is in control of this world, and if this, because if that means that God is in control of this fawn suffering, like the way this fawn perishes, right? And so what I'm trying to understand from your point of view is if God could, have this fawn perish in another way, like it just dies of natural causes, for example, doesn't suffer. Why does it have to?
That would be suffering for me, though.
It'd be suffering
I don't
for
want to
you.
live. Oh yeah, I don't want to live past 60, brother.
Well, I'm talking about the fawn. No, I want
to
put it on the fawn.
For me, there's no iniquity between creatures. I don't have that, and so it doesn't matter if we're talking about a rock, a bug, another animal. It's all regarded in my heart and mind the same.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to trying to get at the method.
We're talking about living a long life, right?
Yeah.
Watching the world go by and having to succumb to our worldly, obviously, like systems that have been set up.
Yeah.
That would be suffering for me. If I have to live past the age of 50, that would be suffering for me.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm 54, so I don't feel like I'm suffering now. And what I'm trying to understand though is if we just kind of take it back to the fawn, I'm really focused.
See how duality falls apart?
Well, I don't see
You're
what you
not
mean.
suffering, but I would be. See how it's different because we have a duality or a difference in the ego?
Well, I don't know if you would be. I mean, I remember at 27.
I'm telling you I would.
Okay.
I'm
just saying at 20, you were what, 27? I remember when I was, so I'm twice your age. When I remember when I was half my age now, I remember thinking, wow, 50 is going to suck. I do remember thinking that. And so I kind of get that, what you're saying. I'm just saying to you that, perceptions change, life changes, things change. You could be thinking differently by the time you get here. A lot of things happen. Yeah, because 27 years is a long time. It goes by fast, but it's a long time. But I'm not here to lecture you on that. What I'm here to do is I want to kind of focus back on this idea of suffering and if it's just or not. And so I'm trying to understand then if we're out of time here. So I'll do this one question before I start the kick poll. If we're talking about this fawn and you agree this fawn could have died any other way, why did this fawn have to die through a lightning strike in the rain in the forest? Why couldn't have God just orchestrated it to that no fawns die this way? Like, what would be the harm in that?
Yeah. So the harm in it, right, is just, it's for a hypothetical. The intention is, again, 1,000% labeled by you in this situation and like the story. If it is the hypothetical,
you'd agree.
You're asking why,
but you'd agree there's at least one fawn on Earth who dies in a forest fire. I mean, it happens, right?
Sure, but then to label the why, right? That was what I was trying to lead into. So trying to label others' intentions is one of the most egotistical, emotional things that people can do. And I don't label intentions for any other creature. I ask questions and try to understand.
Okay, so if a person just randomly walked up to you and punched you in the eye, wouldn't you want to know why? Is that egotistical?
Right.
Come
It's
on,
not
man.
egotistical to ask why, right? But it is egotistical to assume the intention without actually being able to ask
I'm
the
not assuming the
creator.
intention. That's exactly why I'm asking why. I'm asking, why does a fawn have to die in a forest fire?
You're the one who created this hypothetical. You're the one who has the answer to the why.
I don't have the answer to the why. That's why I'm asking
Then
it.
it's a feeble dualistic perspective that you're trying to create. It's not anything truthful.
It's
That's
not
okay.
anything truthful?
Correct.
How does that follow?
Because if you're not willing to label the intentions of your hypothetical, then you are just trying to spread
The
misinformation to catch
intentions
people up
of
within
the
dualities.
hypothetical are meant to understand why God does what he does. And to
But
understand
you're
that.
not. But you're not him, and you created this intentional story. You're the one
I'm
asking
not
the
him?
intentions.
Yeah.
You're the one asking the intentions.
I'm the one
But I'm
asking the
not him
intentions.
either.
Okay.
Right, and I'm not him either,
Well,
so
you
I
believe in
can't
him, right?
answer you.
Okay. Well, you believe in him, right? And you know him,
Of
right?
course.
Is he just? You said yes, he is. So what's just about a fawn dying in a forest through a lightning strike? What's just about that? If it's I don't know, that's cool. Just say it.
Yeah, I would say I don't know, but I also
Cool.
wouldn't fall into the duality of even trying to answer that question
There we
with
go.
justice nor
I
injustice.
wouldn't have pressed you if you had just said I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's fine. I wouldn't have pressed you on that. I wouldn't have
That's literally
ridiculed
what I
you.
said.
I wouldn't have
I
mocked
will
you.
not label others' intentions, but
Well,
you can't
no, you
accept
said
an
I won't.
egoless answer.
No. What you said is I won't label others' intentions. Not I don't know. That's a whole different. Those are two very different answers. You'd agree with that, right? Two
Not
very
at
very
all.
different
I
answers.
see those as synonymous. Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
I
And
said I will not label somebody else's intentions because they're aware of what their intentions are. I'm not. So then to ask why to somebody who is not the person that's doing the
that doesn't
action,
say you
it's
don't know.
unfair.
All it says is that you're not going to label their intentions. You might know, but the honest answer is I don't know. That's all it is.
Right.
So
And I told you that it was your hypothetical, so that was the only bit that we can go off of. Anyways, I really appreciate your time.
yeah,
I think I was voted off, so
yes,
I
you were.
appreciate it.
All right, have a
Peace
good
and
one.
blessings. Appreciate y'all.
I think if not that, I think I see a woo shift in the future. That's what I see. I think that's what it was, but which is kind of interesting because it was this talk about, well, this is an egotistical thing, but it was also egotistical just not say, I don't know. You just said that. Yeah, triune is a new one for me too. That was interesting. I do see like, you know, like a linen shirt and sitting cross-legged somewhere, like meditating. All right. So we're going to move on to the next guest. So if you're in my queue, please be sure that you are at least 18. You believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and you have evidence that God is just. So that's what we're looking at. All right. Okay. So that was, like I said, that was interesting. Very interesting. All right. Who do we got next? No new super chats. Okay. So that's good. Good. It's just like one less, like, this is interesting because like when I add new things, it's more administration for me. So I like adding things for people to chat, in chat to kind of participate in the live, I'm good with that. And I'm okay with that. It's just that it's just a lot of like administrative stuff for me and I got to keep up with it all, which I don't mind. It's just that what happens though is I kind of feel bad that because I miss things and all that stuff, it's just it's a lot to keep track of. So, and I'm doing this like on one screen too. So that's the other thing. I probably, when I move to like multiple screens, it's going to get a lot easier, but I'm really like toughing it out right now, because sometimes, when you hold back on gratification, when you do hit it, it makes it all that much sweeter. It's a Buddhist thing, right? Why only those fake gods trust? Because Helios, they're fake. Exactly why. But That's exactly why. Because I want to know why they believe in these. Like, I don't believe in these gods. I don't believe that they exist, and I want to know why people do. All right. Let's see who looks interesting here. Let's do this one. All right. Next guest. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for waiting. How old are you?
31.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
I believe in the God of the Bible.
All right. Very good. And what's your best evidence that this God is real?
That he's real.
I'm sorry. That he's just. Excuse me. That he's just.
That he's just.
Yeah.
I'll say, this may sound crazy, but I'll say the creation of hell.
Creation of hell? Okay. How so?
So the Bible said that God created hell for the destruction of the devil and his angels.
Mm-hmm. Let's say that.
Because they rebelled against him, they sinned. And like people who go there are people who rebel against God or people who do evil. So
okay. So the ones who do evil, they get sent to hell. And now, does that mean that non-believers are evil?
No. I wouldn't categorize all non-believers as like evil.
Yeah.
I mean, according to our standards of what evil is.
Well, because it says in the Bible that non-believers go to hell.
Yeah, because they reject the gift of eternal life through Christ.
So it's evil, right?
Yeah, according to God.
According to God, it's evil. All right. Yeah. Why is that evil?
Well, I guess because obviously to be in heaven, you can't be corrupted by sin.
Yeah, why is it a sin?
Why is it a sin to
reject God?
What? To reject God?
Yeah. Why is it a sin? Like, if you didn't want to be friends with somebody, stupid funny, like, is that bad? Yeah. If you just don't want to be friends with somebody, you don't want to hang out with somebody, is that a bad thing to do?
No.
Okay. So if I don't want to hang out with God, I don't want to talk to God. Why is that a sin? If I don't want to talk to God, I don't want to hang out with God, it's a sin. But if I don't want to talk with my neighbor, I don't want to hang out with my neighbor, it's not a sin. It's fine. So why is it different for God?
I don't know if sin is the right word to use here when it comes to just flat out rejecting.
Well, it's rejection, right? Or if, say, now I'm married, so I don't do this, but, say I asked a woman out on a date and she rejects me, that's not a sin, is it?
Sorry, say that again.
Well, if a man asks a woman out on the date and the woman rejects the man, so I'm not going to insert myself in there, but man asks a woman out on a date, woman rejects the man, did the woman commit a sin?
No, hold on a second, sorry.
I've never asked this before. Why is it a sin? Why is rejection of God a sin? I've actually never asked that. You are not him. Why does that matter? Who cares? So what?
Hello? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here.
I got interrupted.
No worries. Yeah, so why is it a sin to reject God? But if somebody asks you on a date and you reject them, it's not a sin.
I'll say it's not a sin, but the consequences of rejecting God, I guess say specifically his gift of eternal life through Christ,
okay,
is separation from him.
It's separation from him. So, okay. Now, if it's separation from him, though, that's hell, right?
Yeah,
where you get tortured forever like the other demons. So, you are being punished.
Yeah, for the sins you commit on earth.
Right, for the sins you committed on earth, but it's really for rejecting God. Because you would agree if you don't reject God, you can still commit sins on earth and go to heaven, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so really it's about rejecting God. That's what it's really about.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
why is that a sin?
I mean, this is like, as you probably know, because like when you accept God's gift of salvation and you're born again, transformed, and so God accredits Jesus' death on the cross to you as if you never sinned.
Right.
But obviously we're still living in the world.
Sure.
So we're still gonna sin.
Right.
But we confess our sins.
Right.
And,
yeah, we confess our sins. We can sin.
I mean, we can.
And but all we have to do is accept God, and then we go to heaven. So you can sin all you want.
No, it's not. It's not just that.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you receive God, there is something else that happens, a transformation that happens.
Yeah, I've heard about this transformation, but I put out multiple videos on this, and people come into my lives all the time, and they are not transformed. Right? So
what do you mean by that?
Oh, they're just horrible to me. They're absolutely horrible.
Well,
simply because you've been nice. Everybody's been nice to me today so far, but when I see that I'm an atheist, when they see that I'm an atheist, it somehow triggers people. Yeah, and so
I believe you because the Bible does talk about people who profess to be Christians and are not genuine Christians.
Okay. But they would tell you that they're genuine Christians. They would tell you that.
Yeah, of course they will.
Yeah.
Most people profess to be a Christian.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with the Bible or God.
Right. So but see, here's the other problem. The other problem is, like, if I do, because I do ask, Christians these questions all the time. So like if I kind of shift things, like this idea of justice, right? There just seems to be a struggle with this. So, like, for example, would you agree with or disagree with this statement? It's just to punish someone for somebody else's crime. Is that just or is that not just?
That's unjust.
That's unjust? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we have instances in the Bible, not just Jesus, because you agree Jesus is perfect, right? Jesus didn't commit any sins, yet he took the punishment for us. So that's one instance in which God punishes an innocent person for somebody else's sin. So that's one instance, but we have them all over the Bible. So if that's unjust, does that mean that when God does it, it's also unjust?
So when God does it to Jesus, that it's unjust.
Well, if God sent Jesus down here fully knowing that Jesus would be crucified, right?
Yeah.
That's just one piece of it. So he sent him down here fully knowing that was going to happen, and sent him down here anyway because he had to take our punishment, right? He was the sacrifice. And so what I'm trying to understand, my browser crashed. What I'm trying to understand is, if that's the case, why is it that that's okay to do? Why is that okay?
Well, I guess I'll say it's okay in the context that Jesus himself is God.
Okay.
And this was a preordained plan.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he still made himself a human to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew what he was getting himself into.
Yeah, he fully knew. And so if a person volunteers to take someone else's punishment, that makes it okay?
It doesn't make it okay.
All right. So I'm still not clear on why.
In the context of the whole plan of salvation, like God the Father and the Son.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not okay for Jesus to suffer for our sins because he was innocent.
Yeah.
But he willfully did it.
He willfully did it. Okay.
So.
Okay, I got you. If Jesus
that makes sense. I don't know.
Not really, but I think there's a little piece here, because I think what you're saying is because Jesus willfully did it, it makes it okay.
No, I'm saying it doesn't make it okay either way, but he still did it because he loved us.
Okay. But that makes it okay because he
himself.
loves us.
Most people disagree, because especially when I talk about this like with like my Muslim friends or whatever, you're like, why would he do that? He didn't deserve it. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, he didn't deserve it. He was innocent, but he took it upon himself to do it because he loved us.
Well, because here's kind of a scenario. Like, let's just say a person is convicted of schmurder, right? And the person's convicted of schmurder, and the judge is about to impose a sentence of unalivement penalty, and the person's mother stands up and says, "No, I'll take the punishment for my son." And the judge says, "Okay, you didn't commit this crime, mom of convict, but you're gonna face the unalivement penalty, and we're gonna let your son go free." Is that justice?
No, because he didn't get what he deserved.
He didn't get what he deserved, so we're not getting what we deserve.
But the punishment was still satisfied.
The punishment was still by the wrong party, but that's not justice, is it? Because what about the victims, right?
Right, the victims.
Yeah, the victims. So, okay. So it doesn't sound like, okay, so that's one piece of it. So it doesn't sound like even if the person volunteers, that doesn't make it okay. And you'd agree that the mother loves her son. So loving somebody doesn't make it okay either. All right. Now, what if the person wasn't willing to take the punishment? Because we have that in the Bible too.
Why are you talking about
like the person doesn't give consent to the punishment?
I mean, if the person doesn't give consent to to sacrifice himself for the other party,
or just receive punishment, receive suffering, yeah.
Oh, you mean the guilty party?
No, the person who takes punishment that didn't deserve the punishment, and didn't give consent, did not give consent. It was just given to God. Just decided we're going to punish this person. We're going to make this person suffer, but we're not going to ask this person if they want to suffer. We're just going to make them suffer. Is that just?
Are you talking about the story of Job?
That one, that's one of them. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, inherently that's not right.
That's not right. Yeah.
But again, we got to read in context.
Well, yeah, the context is, I mean, at the end of the day, Job, I mean, yeah, a lot of suffering. His family was unalived. Now, if your family was unalived, super funny, like if God took away your whole family and then replaced it with totally different people, is that compensating you?
That's a good question. I've never been asked this question before.
Yeah, like, okay, so, just think of your family, your mother, your father, if you have any siblings, God just wipes them out, right? And then, for whatever reason, and then brings back and God says to you, stupid funny, you know what? I'm gonna give you back a family, but it's completely different people. Would you feel cool? Would you be good with that?
Probably not.
Yeah. So how is that being made whole? How is that just? Because that's a part of justice too, is being made whole again, right? As a victim.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's an honest answer. Never thought about that before.
About Job's story when it comes to the justice of God.
Yeah, but isn't that wild though? Like, God should just wipe out your family.
Even when I read the story of Job, like it was a wild story to me.
Mm-hmm.
That God allowed his family to be wiped out.
It's wild, yeah. For no reason, just for a bet, basically, to test Job's loyalty,
loyalty and
devotion, which he should know. He should have already known that, right? He should already know what Job's trust and devotion is, because God's all knowing, so he would already know.
Yeah, and then and like the argument that most people give about this, which I think is a little cold, because obviously, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, they tend to say like at the end of the day, like God is God and He can do whatever He wants with His creation.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know if that's a good argument.
I don't know. I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, it's just wild, right? It's just like, hey, I got to bet that Job is the most loyal. He's the most devoted. He will still love me as God, worship me, even no matter what I do to him. Takes all his money, his family, his everything. Just takes everything away. And yeah. And then when Job finally complains, he says, "Who are you complaining to, Job? Who are you complaining to?" Yeah. He's like, "Shut your mouth."
Yeah.
And then gives him back something, but he doesn't make him completely whole. Like, why didn't God just give him back his family? Just turn back the clock or something, but didn't do that. Gave him a totally different family. I mean, that's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, I can't really say I understand why God allowed that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair answer.
It's one of the things
that, I don't know is a good answer.
I'm always like wrestling with when it comes to like stories like that in the Bible. That's the thing. Like there are a lot of things I read in the Bible and that make me think to myself, why God, like why did this happen this way, or why did this happen a different way?
Yeah.
Just like us humans, like we always, we just have this innate, thing to want to reason, rationally.
Yeah. I got it. I hear it. And then there's another one, one more that I can run by you. Trigger warning, chat. So I got to get used to saying that. But David and Bathsheba, right? Chat knows where I'm going with this.
I know the story.
Okay. Now, under what circumstances then, Stupid Funny, is it acceptable to grape somebody for somebody else's crime?
Wait, sorry, who did that again?
Under David and Bathsheba, God.
So I just know he had her husband killed.
He had Uriah unalived, and then he did get Bathsheba pregnant, and to do that, he hid to hide that he had Uriah unalived. Of course, God found out. Yet, what was the punishment? The punishment was what? All of his wives would be raped by his son, right? And we know it's rape because they didn't give consent, right?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't say, "Oh yeah, we'll have sex with our son, our stepson." They didn't say that. They were just, it was just decided, right? And so that's why I'm asking you, under what circumstance is it? Actually, let me put it this way. This is what I've been wanting to ask. Like I've been saying this in my videos. What moral principle justifies graping somebody for somebody else's crime? There we go. What moral principle does that fall under?
I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I can't think of one, right? Now, would you find it acceptable if a ruler, let's just say ruler of a country, says, does the same, issues the same judgment? Would you accept that?
No.
I hear you. I got to really commend your honesty. I appreciate you, man. So if that's the case, how is that just? How is that a just punishment?
There's not a, I mean, yeah, I can see how that's not a just punishment because it's not fair to the women that got raped.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not fair to Uriah or Bathsheba.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great point. That's something I've never even actually mentioned. Yeah.
And obviously David wrote a whole thing in the Psalms about how he was so sorrowful and sorry and this and that. And all that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't do anything to compensate Uriah's memory, right? Because Uriah was sent into battle and unalived. David knowingly did that. And that's the thing I never even talk about. But I talk about the wives. The wives had nothing to do with this, and they took David's punishment. And yeah, how was that just?
No, it's not just.
Yeah, it's not just. So,
and I understand that obviously God leaves us to make our decisions, which can lead to But yeah, I would say just honestly that's not just.
yeah, I think I'm with
like,
you.
Again, that's just another example of like, passages in scripture that I don't like, can't really wrap my head around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I hear
just reading it like, in face value.
Yeah. Hold that thought. I got to do the kick poll, but man, this has been a great talk. Stupid Funny. I really appreciate it. Okay, everybody, kick poll is on. This has been a great talk with Stupid Funny. So it's on now. Please vote. Happy face.
I just saw the time.
Yeah. I just saw it too. Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah, it was quick, but please vote. Happy face to keep Stupid Funny another 20, or crying face to move on to the next guest. But yeah, it's been a great talk. I do appreciate talks like this. And see, as you see, I'm not here to like embarrass people or bust people or anything like that. Yeah. I'm just these are things that I struggle with. Yeah, these are honest questions. These are things that I struggle with. Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah. And so it looks like they're going to keep you. So congrats, man. And my chat really likes, they like honest people who are, sincere and polite and all that stuff. So I appreciate you, man. They appreciate it too.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So if that's the case, if we have this body of evidence, Stupid Funny, that that God is acting unjust, then does that mean you're worshiping an unjust God?
Yeah, that's the hard question.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
I don't know, because from my experience, from my experience of life with God, I can't say he's been unjust.
Like to you, right?
To me, or people I know, or people I know of. It's just like the stories in the Bible that kind of tore on my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time I read them,
Yeah.
And obviously there's inspiration of the Holy Spirit, so obviously there are always going to be different revelations of what the scripture says. And then, reading in context. But even when you read in context, like, it still, says what it says.
Yeah, it says what it says. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, so so you're saying, well, he doesn't act like this to me or anyone I know. It just seems to be the people in the Bible.
Pretty subjective.
Yeah, pretty subjective, but it's kind of like this. Like if you had a family member that was always cool to you, right? Let's just say they just gave you $500 every time they saw you, right? And you're like, oh man, this is great. And every time they see you, they just give you $500. And they're nice to everybody in your family, but you know that this person like is a pimp, right? And is like brutal to his workers and, beats them and all that stuff. I mean, is he a good guy?
The pimp?
Your pimp, let's say your pimp uncle, yeah.
No.
Even though, but he comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, Stupid Funny, it's great to see you." Gives you a nice hug and and I don't know, plays Xbox with you, gives you $500, laughs with you, jokes with you, is super nice to you. Just says, "Hey man, anything you need, just come to me. I got you." And then goes on, but he does all that. But he does all that. Exactly. Exactly. So
I won't say he's a genuine person.
Yeah, it's not probably not a good person, right? Or maybe he did it in his past and then doesn't do it anymore, but hasn't apologized to anybody, hasn't made up for it, nothing. Just, let's just not pretend that happened.
Right.
Or it's just in his past. Hasn't done any time, hasn't, no, I'm sorry, nothing. Just in his past. But he's cool now. Like, would you sit next to him at the dinner table?
Are you talking about like when someone becomes a Christian from their past life?
No, what I'm saying is God. Yeah, it's because God in his past has done these horrible things, and you're saying, well, he's not like that to me or anybody I know. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around the things I read in the Bible. And so what I'm saying is, if you had an uncle like that is nice to you and everyone you know, but has this past of, running a little ring of workers, and he, of Schmeck's workers, and he used to beat on them and all this other stuff, right? Just do terrible things to him. But he doesn't do it anymore, but, just hasn't, like, didn't do any time, just nothing happened to him. Like, are you sitting next to him at the cookout?
Knowing that he did all that?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So why would it be okay to worship a God like that?
Hold on a second.
Yep. So I'd be like, yeah, okay, there you are. Welcome back. Yeah. Why worship a God like that?
Oh, that's a very hard question. Like the way you yeah, the way you pose the question is like it's and like yeah, it's a hard question. And it's weird because like where I'm at where I'm at in my relationship with God and my thinking is just like it's not even remotely, close to that line of thinking. And then I'm faced with a question like this, like with what you just said, like just like basically just bringing back the things I've read in the Bible and just amplifying it, magnifying it, so to speak. It's like, oh, between a rock and a hard place.
Mm.
So is the answer is the question why would I still worship?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's fair. I appreciate the honesty, man. I don't know is a great answer. Yeah, it's a great answer.
Really hard question.
Tough question. Yeah, that's one of the questions I wrestled with, like one of the many. What would happen, do you think, if you stopped worshiping this God?
If I stopped, I don't think much would change.
Yeah.
Physically, materially. But again, I mean, I can't really say that for sure because I don't know the future. So
sure.
But, I don't know. But what I can say is that I've had doubts. Like, can't say I haven't. Like there've been times where I've questioned my faith and questioned like if I'm even a genuine Christian myself. And And
That's honest, man.
somehow he just somehow I just come back. I don't know what it is. I don't know if, I mean, I believe it's him bringing me back.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to clear my doubts. Like when I read scripture, he's speaking, But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I remember I remember saying what you're saying now. I remember thinking, yeah, these are tough questions. Like all these questions I'm asking you is questions I've asked myself. And it's like it's like pulling, like it's a house of cards and you pull a card, and maybe like the first card you pull doesn't topple it, or maybe just like a little piece of the house falls, but like the foundation stays up. And for me, I just kept pulling cards just because it was so like I just kept asking myself these questions, like why would I reading this in the Bible. And I remember I got to a point, super funny, was that I said to myself, okay, maybe the Bible isn't true, right? And then I was like, well, maybe it's just the New Testament. I'll just read what Jesus talked about, what they talked about with Jesus. I was a red letter Christian for a while.
The nice covenant.
Mm-hmm. And I would just ignore all the bad stuff. Let's just throw all that stuff in the closet. I'll just focus on this. Yet I couldn't really still get that out of my, because then somebody said to me one day, but this is the same God in the Old Testament as the New, isn't it? I'm like, oh yeah, it is. I went back and read the book again, and it didn't get any better. So yeah, that's the thing, is like,
trust. Let's hold on a second.
Yeah. Hang up all the questions on the shelf for later till it buckles. Yeah, that's a great comment, Hungry Ghost. Yeah. It's that you just start hanging these questions on hooks on the shelf, and then eventually the shelf just starts sagging, or it just drops. It just falls one day, and you got to address it. Yeah. It's like that. And really like the honesty, though. Really, really do like it, because it's like, it's kind of tough. I'm just thinking back to the two earlier about free will. The guy, just the Walmart Target scenario. Like, come on, man. Like, I know you want to say it, but you just can't bring yourself to say it. Instead, he's just got to be like, it's a fallacious question. Like, oh, come on. Yeah. I know I'm kind of doing a recap, and then the other guy, Triple J. Well, yeah, it sounds really crazy, but sacrificed to himself. Sacrificed himself to himself to save us from himself. And it's like, oh yeah, but it's maddening. But and the thing is, I know why. It's just, you can't say it though, right? You can't really say it, because then it just, doesn't help. So it's really interesting to kind of see it. Suppose Jesus didn't exist. I mean, I'm right on the fence about that. Jack O'Rail, I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I'm like on the fence. Even if he did, doesn't mean he rose from the dead and into heaven, right? We have so many resurrection and ascension stories about becoming a god after that. Yeah. Yeah, only one planet decided to create a man and woman and tell them to multiply first try. Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Like, you just think back to, thank you, appreciate you. But yeah, you think back to that, right? And you think back, wow. And it's just so much to unravel, right? It's like a big ball of yarn that I wrap my belief around, like my reasons. Like the reasons are the belief, and the reasons are the yarn. I wrapped it into this big ball. And it's just unraveling that. Just pull the string until you get to the end and there's nothing there. Just the end of the string. That's what deconstruction is, right? What do you appreciate about the story of Jesus? I appreciate the entire story of Jesus. That.
Hello?
Hi. I'll answer your question in a second, Jackarel. Hold that thought. No worries. So yeah, where were we? Yeah. I was where you were. So where are you at now?
I'll say I still believe in him.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that, and I'm not like, oh man, no, it's nothing like that. Just in terms of like specifically like to the topics we've discussed. Sounds like it.
Oh,
it sounds like he's giving you some things to chew on. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have. You definitely made me even think about diving into the scripture even like deeper, and doing a lot of self reflection and prayer.
Yeah. That's what I did. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got me. Yeah, it's got me like thinking.
Good. That's all I'm looking to do. It's just get people to think about it. Yeah. And
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely stirred something up in in my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, especially like, this whole time, not me even like questioning. Like, yes, I've read it, but like, I've never really like thought really deep about, the implications of like not wrestling with it, and just like accepting it. I mean, there's a lot that us Christians accept, and I feel there's a lot we don't, question a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely got me thinking.
Good.
I'll say you're the only one. I don't know. It's funny because like this is started yesterday. I just said, let me just go on TikTok and see what's going on.
Oh wow.
And then obviously and then I just came across like a bunch of like, debates, like atheists saying, oh, I'm an atheist, tell me why God exists, and like, yeah, I just found it interesting. I was just curious to just hear different like perspectives and like what the atheists would say, what the Christians would say. I'll say you're the first one that has really like asked me like really thought provoking questions.
Well, good. I'm happy to hear that, and thank you. It's what I aim to do. Like, I'm not like, I don't want to be some edgelord out here just screaming at people, right? Not me. I'd rather have a conversation like this where we're, nice and calm, but it's deep.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that we got to that place. Just the calm, deep conversation, not necessarily, even if you had been like, nah, I don't, if you weren't in the space you're in, I would have been fine with it too. This has been a really good conversation. And
yeah, it has.
Yeah. Would it be, like, and I know I've kind of asked you this, like, and I know you said, hey, I don't know the future. going through the scriptures again, what would make you okay with, some of the things we talked about, like, the wives being raped? What would put that into an acceptable place for you? Like, what would you need to understand?
I would need to understand, and I guess this is more of a a proposition to God Himself. Like, I would want to understand, like the why, and maybe the unspoken context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, I would just want to know why it had to happen this way, or to the person it happened to.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Because obviously, like, I mean, most Christians would just say, "Oh yeah, I mean, it happened for this reason, it happened for that reason." But sometimes when you just look at the things that are happening, you're just thinking, like, just like you said earlier, and just like I say to myself sometimes when I read, I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty wild." And it's crazy because, like, I don't know if other Christians like do this when they read scripture.
Mhm.
Like, when I read something and it seems a little bizarre to me, I tend to just gloss over it and just keep reading.
Yeah, I did that for a long time. Yes. Mm-hmm. I can identify with that.
But yeah, I always think about it.
Sounds like
It's
you've been-
crazy because, like, I just feel like now, like, I'm gonna just, especially in prayer, I would just be even more brutally honest about, like, things like that, especially things like that in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and Ezekiel 18. You read Ezekiel 18. I want to say like verses. I think we're around verse 25 or something like that. Talks about people are openly questioning God, and God defends Himself, gives reasons, and all that. I think the tone might be a little harsh, but still. So it's not like you can't ask these questions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so that's the thing is, so that's great that you feel like you're in a space to ask questions. And what if you don't get an answer?
I mean, I would say, obviously, in the word, somewhere in Hebrew it says, without faith you can't please God. I always come to God in faith,
Mhm.
knowing that He will answer. And sometimes He doesn't answer the time I want to answer it.
Mhm.
That's besides the point. Is that He always answers in His own way, and
Yeah.
in His own time. But the thing about me is like, and it's kind of weird telling this to you because you're not a Christian, but I guess you could understand since you come from that background. I tend to tell this to my Christian friends that, like, when it comes to God, I always like to listen. Like, I listen for no, not even listen. I seek out his voice in
Mhm.
literally anything, like anything I come across, be it His word, another person, just anything. Just like I can see it in like, even if I'm watching a movie and I feel I feel like I heard someone say something that resonated with me, and obviously that could be coincidence, but like, that's just how, like, I seek out God's voice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a tangent. What was the
No, you're good. I just said what if you don't get an answer, and you did answer it.
Oh,
so
what if I go and get it?
yeah,
Okay.
and you said it's in His time. But yeah, you just it's fine. All right. Well, One more question, and I think we're kind of, I mean, unless there's more you want to add to it, but I think we're kind of at the end of this. Unless you have something else you want to talk about, but I'd say
I would say not right now, but
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind joining.
I would love for you to come back.
Channel to talk about more things.
Yeah, this has been a great talk. I would love to have you back anytime, man. You've been
Yeah, I appreciate it.
one of my, I would say hands down, one of my, if not my best guest, like over the last, I don't know, couple months at least, like right up there. Yeah, it's been,
I'm honored.
It's been a fantastic talk. So I really, really appreciate it. But I would love to have you back another time. But, you know, and chat, you know, W's and yeah, W's for Stupid Funny. And, you know, if you can spare a rose or two, all that. Hey, we might just get a room. We just might, SB. You never know. Yeah, we just might play Xbox or something.
Hey, you could have like a podcast or something. You never know.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah. If you guys have, you know, roses or all that stuff, yeah, because you've been a fantastic guest, so I really, really appreciate you coming up. And
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. But come back anytime. Seriously.
Yeah. What was the last question? I don't know if you wanted to ask.
Oh.
You said I don't know.
I think I had one, but I forgot. So that's all right.
Okay.
Maybe I'll probably remember at like 3 a.m. and I'll write it down next time.
The scented candle.
Hey, just make sure they're not.
That was funny.
Just make sure they're not cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon candles. All right. You're my getting?
Oh, I love cinnamon candles.
Oh, well, in that case, I don't hate them, so I can be cool with it. Maybe vanilla, and then it'll have the vanilla and the cinnamon.
Oh, I love vanilla too.
See, I can handle vanilla with cinnamon.
Favorite ice cream flavor.
Oh yeah. I like it with like apple pie. Like you warm it with the apple pie just right, and then you put Isn't that great? Yeah, that's great.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Have you ever done this? Have you ever gone to McDonald's and gotten like the vanilla shake and then the apple pie, and then you mix it
vanilla shake.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to vanilla shake, but I haven't gone to McDonald's in years.
Oh no, I don't go that often. Not gonna lie. Well, I mean, Mrs. Verified thinks I go more than I should, but when I do,
I think you should. I think you should go. I think you shouldn't go at all.
You're probably right. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I shouldn't, but when I do get, and you can get this anywhere. Like you don't have to be McDonald's, but you get a vanilla shake, and then you get like a piece of apple pie, and then you throw the apple pie in the vanilla shake. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. Yeah. If you got a place that sells those two things, just put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
Sure.
Well, hey, Stupid Funny, again, it's been great. Thank you so much. You've been a fantastic guest.
Thanks for having me.
Again, come back
Thanks
anytime.
For the really good questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to our next one.
The questions.
All right. Have a good day. Take care.
Right. You too.
All right. Oh, man. When I have guests like that, I got to say, it just makes this all worth it. It totally makes it worth it. So it's time to bring up my mods and to thank them all, give them love, all that stuff, because my mods are amazing. Especially, I don't know what the deal is with Sunny. It's just like every time I try to invite Sunny up, it's like the multi-guest is like grayed out. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to try and invite you with my alt. I don't know what the deal is. Oh yes, thank you. I should have done that, Sunny. Yeah. Well, Stupid Funny, if you're still here, I invite you to join my Discord. My Discord is, the link is in my profile, and that's for anybody else. Now there are rules, but the rules are pretty reasonable. I think they are. Although you may talk to some ex-members and they may not agree, but oh no, it's doing it again, Ember. Oh no. Yeah, just TikTok is just so buggy, and that's okay, Sonny. That's all right. I just wanted to bring you all up so you guys can follow Sonny 3 Pips and wait. Trouble just snuck right in. Who let Trouble up here? What's up?
How's it going? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Yeah, I just love it when I say that.
Exactly.
Who let Trouble up? Yeah, who let Trouble up here? Somebody snuck in. Trouble snuck in again. But Trouble's not officially a mod, but Trouble has the name Trouble, so. And it just makes me laugh every time I see her and I say it. So, oh, geez. Speaking of Trouble, Ethereal Ember, I don't know what the deal is. I'm so sorry. But what I'd like everyone to do,
it's all my fault.
It's all Trouble's fault.
Yes, it's all my fault.
It's all Trouble is here and all that. Tell them what we're doing tomorrow. What are we doing? Trouble, tell them what we're doing tomorrow. What are you guys doing tomorrow? What's going on tomorrow?
I'm meeting up with them.
What? You are?
Yeah, we're having coffee.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad. I hope that goes well for y'all.
So I'll be excited to
that's exciting.
meet them for the reels.
Yeah, meet them for the reels, right? Yeah. Sonny, I'm a bit jealous myself because, I mean, Ember is just amazing. So, I want to meet Ember for coffee. Shit. So I'm a bit jealous, but that's okay. I'm hoping you and I get to host together on The Secular Perspective, which, by the way, all of y'all need to follow The Secular Perspective because Redhead Trouble is a guest host, right? Who makes her appearances there.
I think I'm a host.
You're a host. Oh yeah. You're a full blown host. Yeah. I think I'm more of a guest host. I only like get on like once a month. Yeah, you're a permanent host. Yeah. But I'm only on like once a month. But one of these days, hopefully the rotation works out and you and I can host together. That'd be awesome. I'd love to.
I would love to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could even guest on my lives whenever I go live too. So
well,
we don't
thank
have to
you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we can always work that out as well.
Appreciate you. Oh wait, Sonny, the executive producer, says we are both permanent hosts. We are official hosts. So Sonny is this executive producer. We got to do what Sonny says. So we gotta keep the producer happy, right?
Exactly. And if you haven't joined the Secular Perspective Discord, it's kicking off.
It's actually kicking ass
holy
too.
Moly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is a link in my Discord to the Secular Perspective Discord too. If you go to the Promote Yourself for Others channel, you can find a link there and you can join there, and it's pretty awesome. So there's that.
It's definitely getting wild in there, Sonny, for sure.
It's getting wild. Yeah. Yeah. Our Discord's been a bit feral lately too, but hopefully things will calm down. We'll see. I think you might have the fun wild. We've got the other wild. I don't know if it's fun. It could be fun for some people. I don't know, but for some of us, it's not. So, well, I'm glad you came up to say hello, and it's always fabulous to hear you and see you. And again, everybody, folks who are up here, please just throw them W's, follows, especially Redhead Trouble, Sonny, and 3 Pips. Follow them. And if you got any spare roses, please send them on. I know I asked you to send roses to Stupid Funny, so I may be like exhausting that supply, but if you have one more, my folks here deserve them. And also, I've got my mods over on the YouTube side. I've got Blaster Master 80 and Rainbow Ash and Marduk. So if you're on the YouTube side, please, throw W's in the chat forum and just tell them you love them because they are fantastic people. So I just want to say that. But all right. Well, hey, any takeaways from anybody before I hang it up for today? Any wise words of wisdom? Anything like that?
I don't know. Don't let HD back on here. Jesus Christ.
HD back on. Okay. That might be wise words. Yeah, that was a bit of a experience, wasn't it?
That was rough.
That was rough. Yeah, it was. That was rough. especially when the next guy following him tried to explain the whole free will thing and then didn't get anywhere with it.
That was kind of a disaster as well.
Yeah, it was. It just didn't yeah, it didn't make sense to me. So
I hated how he like insulted your intelligence afterwards. He was like,
yeah,
you just don't know. You just don't have the cognitive abilities to,
apparently I don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
to decipher the free will enigma.
Yeah.
That is Allah.
Exactly. Right. You're just your brain is just way too tiny. You little peanut brain. You just don't get it. Well, your fucking God made me this way, so then apparently that's not my fault. So oh well. Yeah. Okay. So wise words of wisdom from Redheaded Trouble is
Exactly. My Jezebel spirits, they keep me from understanding such things.
yeah. It just keeps, see, you have the big brain, but it's the Jezebel spirit that is just blocking all types of like salvation. It's like a goalie, like a hockey goalie, right? It's just just shutting out the salvation.
It's gotta be it.
It's gotta be it. The Jezebel spirit, just the best goalie ever. Because you definitely don't have my peanut brain. That I know for sure. So I'm just too
I
stupid.
appreciate the vote of confidence.
Oh, absolutely. It's just apparent. Way smarter than me. I'm just a dumb atheist. That's all. So that's just who I am. Well, all right. Well, that's it for me. Again, thank you guys for a fantastic live. It was a fantastic live. That last guest was just amazing. So I hope to see you all very, very soon. I'm going to be working on my tech stack tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow, maybe not, but I don't want to put you and Ember in a bind, having to choose between, do we have coffee or do we watch Trust? So I may just stay off just for you guys. So you don't feel like, awkward or like you have to rush through the coffee. You know what I mean? To come see me.
You know what? We can go on your live together. How about that?
Yeah, you could.
We can
Okay.
share a device.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Okay. That's an option. Well, we'll see after I work on my tech stack. We'll see how it goes. So, all right. Well, thank you all. Have a great Friday and we'll see you all again soon. All right. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.